You guys ready?
Yeah,
I'm nervous about this intro, but I'm ready.
I need a reboot. Reboot is what I need. Hey. I need a reboot. Reboot is what I need. Throw gang, we are joined by the cult classic kings, the head honchos of hustle, the underrated ubermensch. If you can't stand the heat, get the fuck out the kitchen because everything is burnt to a crisp. Woo! Never tweeted slurs, but they still got canceled. The first Epstein to get the kids fly. Clocks fucked up because they're ahead of their time. Rasta Monsta coming at your head like a chancla. Spring hating on them because the show should have sprung, but they will never fall. Just 2 seasons, but put them in the hall.
Oh, shit.
Stars of How to Make It America and co-hosts of the We Almost Made It podcast, Bryan Greenberg and Victor Rasuk. Bryan and Victor, how the fuck are you?
My God.
Yo.
Wow, that intro.
You just put me to shame.
Intro.
So on our podcast, I do an intro for our guests. I'm doing what you're doing. I'm biting off you.
Yo,
Vic, step your shit up, yo.
Oh, dude, I need to step it up big time.
Hey.
Wow.
What's up,
How
boys?
are you guys?
We're great.
I'm a fan of the pod. I'm happy.
Thank you.
Same,
We're a fan of you
same.
guys.
Killing
We're a fan of
it.
you guys. Thanks.
Yeah.
You guys were on a show or something, right?
Something
like that. Yeah.
The HBO.
A few people heard about it. It's not that, you know.
A little ahead of its time. We're going to talk about it, but real quick, first thing, we got to do a fit check.
Oh, shit.
I know you came prepared. Vic spilled his lunch all over himself in preparation.
Dude.
He crucified himself, as he said. Who wants to go first?
Yo, let me just say something.
Please.
I said, Vic, we're going to New York. You better come correct for these guys. They don't fuck around with the fashion. Don't come like with your scrubby shit. This guy spills oil all over himself. But let's talk about what are you wearing, bro?
That's an Italian baptism, dog.
So where you want to start from? Because I know you guys always like, yo, this or this.
There's a right answer. There's a wrong answer. Why don't you guess?
All right, so boom,
there's
got
a
the
wrong
T,
answer?
Gap,
Okay.
shorts, Gap, and I'm gonna explain later why.
This guy.
Hold on, the chonies, Calvin Klein. That's all I do.
Oh, okay.
Boxer briefs, by
Thank
the way.
you.
Got the Jordans, right? But I got the OVOs. You know,
Oh,
I like those.
The Drakes.
Oh, okay.
You could probably sell those for like 5 racks on
They're
StockX.
probably the most expensive Jordans in my whole collection. Wore them just for you guys.
What?
Wow.
And hold up.
Wow.
I gotta talk about my socks because I listen to the show, yo.
Okay. Let them know.
Nike, the ankle socks, though. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's a little hot out here, so I don't want them to go any higher than they are. You know
How
what I'm
big is the
saying?
Jordan collection?
So I
got a lot of Jordans.
Yeah, I got a lot. Not as much as you. You got a crazy closet.
He doesn't have the OVOs though, do you, Brian?
No, I don't.
There.
I don't.
Actually, when you saw my OVOs, you was like, "Oh shit, I didn't know you had those big."
Yep. Those are nice.
Hold on, let me count it times 8. I got 20 in my crib, and I would have more, but I just don't have the closet space at home.
Can you wear those in LA?
What, my Jordan?
Yeah.
The OVOs.
No, they're not like
The
us.
OV
I would wear any Jordans in LA. You know why? Because you drive so much. They don't get fucked up like they would in New York. Now I'm like, I'm gonna bring these back home. I'm like, fuck, I gotta
They're
get.
talking about the
toothbrush.
Kendrick Drake beat. Let's go way over here. I'll bring it back.
Oh,
here.
my bad.
Yeah.
I think my bad.
Good way over the
Jordan.
snapback.
That's why I'm here for you, man.
That's how
I'm
you're here for me.
But you're not
outside.
driving with the
My bad.
window, with the leg hanging out the window.
That's right.
Like
That's
Lil
right.
Wayne. Okay.
I mean, they say in LA you dress from the shoulder up because you're
Yeah.
just driving over.
Pretty
right?
much, yeah.
So what's the hat then?
Yeah.
Oh, I got the New York Yankee. You know what I'm saying? I gotta represent my team, New York
Absolutely.
Yankee.
The only Yankee trucker that has ever existed.
But you know why? Shit breathes, bro.
I know.
Shit breathes.
It's hot out there,
It's
man.
hot out here.
I'm aware of the functionality of the trucker
I'm
hat.
trying, man. You know what I'm saying? What you got on?
Wait, what's the-
man?
what's
What's
the
the nice
fit check?
t-shirt you got?
All
What
right.
you got on?
Where's the? I want to know where the oil's from.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, tell me the oil.
What deli?
So we were just coming right before this podcast. We were like, yo, let's get a quick bite. We went to go get a quick bite at El Posto Acanto, which is my favorite spot.
You know it?
Shout out to Julio and Beer.
Here, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Classic.
So I was like, yo, let's get something real quick.
Had a nice bruschetta.
Had a nice bruschetta. But then when I went to go get the bruschetta, I put the fork in. The fucking
Fumbled.
oil spoiled all over. And then I was like, damn it, I was trying to save this for the podcast. They're going to crucify
I
me.
was like, all right, this is perfect.
But you came in and you just like self-crucified yourself. You're like, by the way, guys,
to.
oil stain. I have an oil stain.
I didn't
oil
want to try to say, well, now we're talking about it, but I didn't want you, I was hoping that you guys didn't recognize, but I was like, you know what? Let me just.
You said it immediately.
I know. And then you said, I'm going to get
just lead with
crucified.
it.
And then you were like, you crucified yourself, bro.
You
I'm
baptized
like,
yourself and you're
damn.
crucified. Are you sure you're not Italian?
Damn, bro. Well, that opening was amazing, so it's okay with the crucifixion.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Well, hopefully Gap can replace the gray tee with a new one.
and this is sponsored by Gap.
Yeah, right?
Brian, what about you?
Yo, all right. So I guess we got to start with the merch, right? We got the almost merch samples.
Plug.
T-shirt.
Plug.
We're about to start this line, which is like the podcast we're doing, but really I'm most excited about starting the merch.
Is it
Oh,
really?
yeah.
It's like a Trojan horse to start merch.
This is like his dream.
After How to Make It, I got really into the fashion world, and I'm like, now I kind of have an eye for it, and
Right.
I want to get into it. And it's funny because like now we're like picking out samples and we're doing
Right.
it. It's like we're
Yeah,
actually
you're
doing
actually
it.
living it.
It's weird. It's very surreal. It's
Are you
very
like
surreal.
walking around downtown LA with a fucking roll of denim in a shopping cart?
We did it, and
have done that.
it's on our Instagram too.
Yeah?
You see it. Yeah.
I believe the term what you guys are doing is hustling backwards.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
what you're
Yeah.
doing.
yeah. I think so.
It's kind of crazy.
It's fun. It's art imitating life, or vice versa. I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
Do you
one
have
of
any? Do you
Life
have any?
imitating art.
Do you have any input into the stuff that you design for Crisp on how to make it?
No, had zero.
Okay.
Had zero.
Yeah.
That was all
That's a
Eli
good question.
Gessner.
Yeah.
You know Eli? He just started Zoo York.
Okay. Yeah.
Just a little brand that was huge. Yeah, he was like a consulting producer on How to Make It. He did all the designs for Crisp and by Yossi. Crisp
Yeah.
by Yossi.
Yeah.
right.
Hold on. We didn't finish the fit.
That's right.
Fit check. Fit check.
Yeah,
Hold
fit
on.
check. Fit check.
So we
Back to the
started
fit.
with the t-shirt, and then I guess I have like a denim shirt over this, which is made by Purple. You know
Yeah.
Purple.
Mhm.
I like their stuff. And then I guess boxers.
Boxers.
I also have Calvin Klein boxer briefs.
Okay.
Okay.
Calvin Klein with the microfiber, so you know it's hot out. Gotta let
Yeah.
it.
Good for your gooch.
The
I get
wiki.
it.
Yeah.
It wicks.
Microfiber for the macro hog.
I like that.
I like it.
Are you sure you do?
You don't have,
you
you don't
guys
have
are
to
like-
say it.
Okay, dude.
Microfiber for the macro hog.
I gotta do your
That's-
opening. I still can't get over your opening.
I've been listening to a
my
lot of-
openings are so boring compared to your openings on my podcast. I'm like, why am I not doing that? Anyway, sorry.
You got to go listen to the Carter mixtapes, and you'll get in the right headspace.
That's what. Okay, I got to get off DJ Clue. Those days is over. And do that. Okay, I got it.
Illuminati.
Illuminati. DJ Clue.
What are the pantalones?
Pantalones. Oh, these are Alex Mill.
Okay.
With a nice bleach stain on them from when I was cleaning up my kids' vomit.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but I think I like
Charges
it.
to the game.
Gives it character, you know?
Yeah.
I get these socks. I just broke out their reserve paddle from
Okay.
that paddle club. It's like a padel. Yeah,
Is
it's
that
like,
your sport of choice?
no, I played it for the first time last
Okay.
week at this spot uptown
Yeah,
here.
it's tennis for babies.
Yeah.
No,
it's not
it's tennis
pickleball
for babies, but it's like it's more aggressive than pickleball. But it's not as aggressive.
But it's
as
not
tennis.
racquetball?
It's kind of like racquetball meets pickleball.
Meets like handball, right?
Because you have that racket that you play with.
Got it.
I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
I played it once and I don't know.
Did he get smoked?
No, somebody asked me if I was a pro.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, the bar's pretty
That's
low in the
before I
sport that
played.
nobody plays.
Right.
But okay,
Right.
sure.
Right.
Got it.
And what are these
But they gave me some socks.
Okay.
So I'm rocking these socks.
Shout out the
They're
merch.
kinda- They're
We
kind
got
of
to
cool.
talk about the shoes. You guys
Shoes,
did come
yo.
correct.
Salehi Bembury New Balance,
Yeah,
who's
dude.
one of my favorite sneaker designers. I just love everything he does. I'm
These
sure
from
you
what,
guys
like 2 years ago? A year ago?
maybe even longer, 3 or 4
Yeah?
years.
You guys got a
Yeah.
lot of money on the fucking dogs. Like both of you
Yo,
today. This
bro.
is like, I mean, you could pay our rent
the
for a couple
sneakers-
months with the sneakers.
the
Bro,
sneakers-
we had to come correct
on.
for y'all, man.
Thank
We had
you.
to come correct.
Appreciate that.
So what's your shoe collection? If you're
Oh,
you're
yeah.
only 20 pairs of Jordans.
I got 20, but I know he has more than that
So
shit.
my thing is like that was my addiction for a while.
Right.
Like I would just whenever I started working, I would just like I didn't really buy a lot of stuff, but I would buy sneakers anytime I get a new gig.
What was the most you ever paid for a pair of sneakers?
I think I paid like $700 for the Royal Ones, which is
Okay.
so annoying because now they re-released them.
Sure.
They're
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
I can't even sell those for like $100 now, probably.
Probably.
I just caught it at the wrong wave. I think that, or maybe the Sean Witherspoon's Air Maxes.
Oh, yeah.
Still, I think one of my favorite pairs that I
Yeah,
own.
those are big.
Um,
The anti-vax twos.
Yeah.
is he an anti-vaxxer? Yeah. Is that why I moved to Japan? Are both those guys
Which is weird
anti-vaxxers?
because he went to a place where everyone's wearing masks. Like,
Yeah.
What about the
exactly.
watch, Brian? We can't forget.
Oh,
about
yeah.
that.
Oh,
Take a
shit.
watch too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, this is a Rolex day date from 1957.
Woo!
I bought it.
That's paying your rent all year right here, bro.
true.
That's paying your rent.
I bought
that's a
this
down payment.
when I was shooting How to Make It in between season 1, season 2 at like a pop-up thrift store in this hood
Okay.
in the Lower East Side. And
Yeah, we're like, by the way, you guys are like, welcome home.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
in like,
Oh, we're
the
just
Lower East
back.
Side.
we're walking down memory lane over here.
I was
Yeah.
gonna bring that up after he was done about that too.
You're like, wait, where's A-Life?
Where's A-Life? Yeah.
R.I.P.
Shout out Aaron.
Big rip.
Man, A-Life.
Yeah,
no.
it's
Yeah, we'll
gone.
be back.
Everything's gone.
Everything's gone.
No
What's-
Daguerre.
Yeah, you guys got to put us on a what's new, what's good. Like I'm
There's a Sweet Green down the street. That's
right.
pretty cool.
There
You like
goes
sma-
the
you like smash
neighborhood.
burgers?
Yeah.
We got a lot of.
You throw a fucking
Smash burgers.
throw
yeah,
a
right?
Jordan and you'll hit a smash burger joint.
I just feel like I walked by a Shake Shack. Not that
There is a
a
Shake Shack
right
on the
there.
corner.
That's right.
Well, don't dox our address. People do want to kill us.
Oh, really?
Because we're so
enemies?
good at our job.
Sean Weatherspoon wants to.
Shut up.
Yo, is he the op?
No.
Shit.
That's not the homie. That's the homie. I don't know.
Dude.
Well, okay, and you guys are sipping on some
water.
Brian, you took off the label because you have a water deal.
Yeah, big water deal. I can't announce it yet.
Right. Was a pro paddleball player or whatever the fuck
Padel,
the sport
Padel,
is.
Padel.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sponsored now.
Padel, excuse
I'm
me.
trying to get the Topo Chico deal. You know
Why
what
don't
I'm
you
saying? Topo Chico.
start
What's
with
good?
saying it right?
Yo, Topo Chico, what's up? Give me that lime box.
Let me
Once
get
it's
that
made, we'll say it right.
tipo.
Topo Chaco.
That's the dumbest thing about Padel is like they're like actually it's pronounced Padel.
I don't even know how
my
to announce.
bad.
Yeah.
It's like croissant people, you know. Actually, it's a
Oh,
croissant.
you mean the sock thing paddle?
Yeah,
thing
the
you talking
fucking
about? Oh, yeah.
Padel, not paddle.
I
just
haven't
learned
played
that.
enough to know
Padel.
even how to
Right.
pronounce it.
All right, boys, you guys are fellow podcasters, and you just launched a pod called
Yes.
We Almost Made It.
Yes.
We're gonna get into the pod trenches eventually, but
Okay.
we would be remiss if we didn't start with some How to Make It in America talk.
Let's go.
What could have
First
been?
question, and I think this is like what fans of the show always say: was How to Make It in America ahead of its time?
Straight up.
Absolutely. And also, not only ahead of its time, I mean, I might get crucified for this besides the oil on my shirt.
That's your vibe today, bro.
Yeah, today
Nailed
I'm
this
just
hit
getting
to a
crucified,
cross.
bro.
Stigmata.
Stigmata vibes.
But also at the same time, it was also speaking to a generation at that moment.
Mhm.
But you know, we're bringing back the podcast, and people are still like the themes of the show are still resonating today, right?
Right.
Like we all hustling. We just walked into your studio. We were like, "Yo, what's the rent here? Yo, how long?" Because the hustle never
Yeah.
stops. So to answer your question, yes.
The rent here is 1/5 of your Jordans.
Yeah. That day will get you a 5-year deal, dude. I promise you.
But do you think like it was a product of the times, and like why didn't it kind of find a large enough audience to really break through? Was it like too New York City centric? Because yes, the themes are universal, but was it like pre-streaming? Was it too city centric? Like
Yeah, I
don't
think
know.
all those things. It was before social media,
True.
which is huge. I mean, Twitter was the thing.
Yeah.
But like, there was just no accounting for the impressions that it was making
Right.
within the culture, within the streets,
The
right?
impact, yeah.
So I don't think it was resonating on the executive level.
the suits.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, everybody always, that's the number one question we always get is like, why'd you get canceled? I'm like, yo, I had nothing to do with it.
It wasn't my
all right?
fault.
I really don't know.
I just bought this watch
Yeah.
between 2 seasons.
I'm down, man. I got to pay for these Jordans. So yeah, I don't know, but it is funny how it's just so beloved still to this day. Like
Cult
people-
classic.
It really is.
Straight up.
Yeah, and I've been very fortunate to work on a lot of projects throughout my career and to even have a career in this game, but. Like not everything I've done has been so impactful for other people.
Right.
You know, like, I mean, people tell me that show changed their lives and they mean it. Like it really
Yeah.
inspired people to like move to New York or chase their dreams. And like, that's cool. I mean, it's cool to entertain anybody, but to be able to, as an artist, to be able to really help change someone's life, you know, that's crazy to hear that. you
Right.
know?
How many
It's
terrible
crazy.
streetwear brands were launched because of you guys?
Oh man. Yeah.
Hand up, that's on you guys.
How many skull and rose graphics are because of you two?
It was an era. It was an era. It was a product of the
totally-
time.
yeah.
The graphic
totally.
tees, that happened.
Yeah.
That
Also,
really
you know, at
happened.
the same time too, I feel like, you know, people ask us why it got canceled. You got to remember, like, who we were speaking to also don't have that much money because they were young.
They could afford HBO.
They were stealing it.
They were stealing our shit
They were
too. So I think-
BitTorrenting it.
By the way, I'm not saying that that's the direct result why it got canceled, but like,
Right.
you got to put that into
That was
account.
happening.
That was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every
How to
fan was
make
like-
it in Pirate Bay?
Right. I mean,
Right.
pretty much like Napster of TV at the
Yeah.
time.
Right.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like, that was kind of what was
They'd be
happening.
like, oh yeah, I used to steal all those shows. I'm like, yeah, you're the reason we're not on.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm a huge fan. By the way, thank you so much for the free
It was
content.
like a low key diss, but like a low key compliment at the same
Well,
time.
they
Like,
needed it
thanks.
that bad that they were hustling to get the show about hustling.
Yeah.
You guys taught me how to
Exactly.
steal.
Not even mad at it.
Yeah.
Not even mad.
Do you think if it came out today with social media, with the fact that you don't need a huge audience to be considered successful or impactful,
Right.
right? You can like look at us, right? We're the only podcast that matters. Only
Only.
you guys.
Well,
But
yeah.
do you think
For a
that
second.
if it came out today, it would be a mainstream smash?
Or a bigger mainstream hit.
I'm too inside to be able to say that.
Really?
You know? Yeah, because I was a part of it. Like I can't say yeah, it would be a hit. I'm way too on the inside.
You don't think there'd be Rasta Monsta memes just fucking
Yo,
floating
bro,
around?
there'd be a pop-up around the
I
corner.
mean, you
for
guys
Rasta
would know
Monsta.
better than me,
Yeah, I
right?
feel like you guys would know better than
because
us
you're not
too.
in it.
I think yes.
Yeah, on a
Yeah.
I
streamer
want
for
to
sure.
think yes. Trust
Yeah.
me, I would love that, but I can't be like yes for sure. 'Cause we're in it. How can I be objective about it?
I think
fair.
yes, only because now that people are listening to our little podcast, I think now that we're getting all these like, DMs and people being like, oh, I love the podcast, that it still resonates in terms of what the show is about, right? The hustler,
the themes.
Yeah. So yes, I'm leaning toward what you guys are saying without trying to be objective.
All right. Well,
I think so though, because it was one of those shows that was like kind of early in. I always say it was like the first sort of tone show.
Okay.
It didn't really have a plot. It was just a vibe. It was a vibe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a vibe show. Like, what was it about? Like, oh, we were trying to make jeans. But not really.
Sure.
Like, we're just in New York trying to figure things out.
It's a hangout show.
It was a hang, right? Yeah. And like, there wasn't anything like that at the time. And now there have been other things. And I think that's more prevalent in television now.
the only thing I would say, the danger, if it was to relaunch now, or if it came out today, is like the speed at which things move. If you try to draw inspiration from something that happens in December by,
you're talking about fashion.
Yeah. Or just like kind of like whatever happening in downtown culture, like it would be old news, 2 months later.
I don't know though, because I'm rewatching it for the first time since it aired. Like,
what's that like?
Well, first of all, I forgot everything. So I'm just watching it. I'm like, oh my God, are they going to make the jeans? I totally forgot everything.
On the edge of my seat over here.
Yeah, but the style is actually from the fashion standpoint.
Yeah.
Well, we're hitting that cycle, right?
Yeah, we are. Well, we're not at skinny jeans yet.
Well, no.
We're about to be though, right?
But
That's
some people
any
are
day
doing
now.
that indie sleaze shit. Like you see that down there. There's big jeans and there's skinny jeans.
I do think the fashion cycles now, because of social media, have gotten so much faster.
Yeah.
Like I think it was used like every 10 years. Now I think it's every like year and a half, 2 years.
10 minutes, I think.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, you guys are the experts. You tell me.
Do you think we're going to see people getting inspired by Cam's fedoras all of a sudden showing up?
Funny. Just we just talked about this.
We
with
just
Eddie
talked about
K.
it
Thomas.
because we had Eddie K. Thomas, who plays Capo on the show.
Yeah.
We just saw him and we just did an episode of our podcast with him, and we were talking about the same thing about the fedoras. I don't know.
They low-key did you a little dirty, dude.
Why? Wait, why?
Fedoras, bro?
Whoa, dude, wait 5 minutes, bro. Fedoras are gonna be the hottest thing.
Wait 10 minutes. Fedoras is gonna come back.
Do you still have any of those fucking...
I have. All right. So to answer your question, you're absolutely right. Like I don't wear it in my personal life, but at the time I thought they were fucking dope, man. I thought they were fly.
Wait, were you? So whose decision was it for Cam to be a fedora guy? Were you involved with
It's
that?
very like Grandma in Rounders. Remember Grandma?
No, hold on. So hold on.
Yeah, but that was-
Let's go backwards. Let's go back.
Okay.
First of all, I'm Latin. I'm Dominican, right?
Yeah.
Born and raised in this neighborhood.
Are you?
Shut up. Yeah. So
Well, he's not Italian.
I got
know that.
I got mad stories about every corner around your studio, right? Like from growing up, right? But I will say this is that being Dominican, right? Like being Latin, Caribbean, like fedoras is a big thing out there, right? Because you got the guayabaros.
The guayabara,
exactly.
yeah.
So
It's a vibe.
For me, how it happened though is that Rob Weiss, our producer, I was gonna do this, which is the fitted cap backwards. He was like, yo, because I thought it's New York, we New York. He goes, yo, nah. We not Entourage. I don't want you to be Turtle.
Right.
Which-
Interesting. Yeah.
That was a good. I was like, I didn't think about that. I was like, okay.
He was always shout out Jerry, who's been on the show before. He was always in fucking fitteds on the show.
So he didn't want that. So I give him mad props because had he not said that, we wouldn't have had to be open to doing another style. And then I was like, well, what about this? Because I wore fedoras. Like I said, being Latin, going to DR, like I knew that I liked fedoras, but I didn't know how I was going to look on camera because that was the first time I did it with a character.
Right. Well, speaking of Entourage, did those what kind of comparisons existed in the moment, and were those good or bad, do you think? Because I think people kind of think of,
all
you guys-
good.
Yeah.
Because it was a hit show.
Sure.
So all good. We got the comparisons because it was a hit show, and then we had the same producers and a lot of the directors. So
we'll talk Marky Mark.
it was billed.
Yeah.
It was billed as like a New York Entourage, right? But I think we were all very conscious of trying to make our own show,
Right.
And no hate or no dissing Entourage because I've seen every episode and I'm a fan of that. But I really just didn't want to do that. I wanted to do our own thing. And I do think it's like for the layman, it was like, oh yeah, it's New York Entourage. But I think people who watched our show knew that it was a different.
But that was the log line that people would like.
I think that's the doorway that got the gateway that got us in. You know. Yeah.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
All right. What are the odds we're gonna get a reboot?
I mean, you never say never, but
And
that's
would-
not really.
Would you guys want to be involved?
So first thing is that when we did the podcast, we did it straight up because after 10 years of everybody being like, yo, when's the show coming back? Oh, yo, is there? We heard that so many times, and in your psyche, you're like, bro, not only do you feel bad, but first of all, you feel bad that you lost the show because it was a great gig. It was a great lifestyle. But then
Thanks for reminding me that my life is terrible.
Over and over. So we were like, let's do the podcast. Let's just set the record straight. We could do some recaps. People, it'll be nostalgic because I feel like, you guys tell me, right? Nostalgia is kind of a thing now with shows.
Absolutely.
A lot of old shows are coming back. But we were like, let's just do the podcast without any expectations about a reboot happening.
Right.
If it happened, we would 100% do it. And not only will we 100% do it, be involved.
Sure.
Also, in our podcast, we've had Kid Cudi.
Of course.
He said he would do it. We had Lake Bell. She would do it.
Ian Edelman, the creator.
Ian Edelman, everybody would do it.
Right.
It's just a matter of if it would happen, which is beyond our control.
You kind of like brought back a version of it with our boy New York Nico, right?
I love that.
Yeah.
Dude, man. Shout out
Love
Nico.
Nico,
Yeah.
Yeah, we just did that. Oh, you mean for that little that hidden ad
commercial for
Yeah, so Brandon Rosenblatt, who was part of Hidden.
Shout out Brandon.
Oh yeah, we love Brandon.
Setting the
Yeah,
ting.
we love
Brandon.
Brandon. We love you, Brandon. He was also in our ear about doing the podcast. Big time.
He was big time.
Yeah,
Yes.
him and Matt Levine.
Yeah.
So he was a fan of the show, and he was like, what if we just did a little tribute almost to How to Make It in America? So it wasn't Ben and Cam, it was just us two.
Right.
But then that shit went viral.
There you go.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
It kind of broke the internet.
And that was
day.
pre-pod, right?
Yeah, that was
So there
years
you go.
ago.
But that was proof of concept for the pod. No?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Kind of.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That nostalgia you're talking about, that's emotional for people, right? They feel connected to these characters. Like you said, it inspired a whole generation.
Yeah.
They want to see you
The
guys.
first
But there's a
to
lot of
get the
shows I'm
kids
saying
fly.
right now coming out though that are like old shows that they're bringing back. I'm just saying it's a thing right now. Isn't it?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like
Yeah,
an
so
actual
like-
business.
The business aspect of it.
The existing IP
IP.
exists.
Yeah.
Existing
That's
IP.
correct.
But I think part of the reason we're doing the podcast is because the audience did feel so robbed. Like they were so
Totally.
invested. So it's nice for them because we don't know if the third season will ever happen. So, if it happens, great. If it doesn't, it's fine. But like this, I think does fill that void a little bit for the audience.
I mean, the failed streetwear designers to podcast pipeline is robust.
We're living it.
This is season 3.
Very
We're living it.
robust.
Yeah.
Welcome
Very
to the party.
robust.
All right. How to Make It in America only got 2 seasons.
Yep.
Girls got 6 seasons.
Yep.
Is that sexism or?
Let's be real. Let's call it out for what it is, boys.
What's going on there?
I think we had too many diverse cast
you guys,
members in
man.
ours.
Oh,
I think
Not
it
enough whites.
It wasn't white enough.
You know what's crazy?
That's what New York needs.
Yo,
is more
most
white
of our
people.
crew behind the camera for How to Make It all went to go do girls.
Oh, really?
Which- no,
Like
not
our
on
DP.
them. I'm just saying like that's how quick the transition happened.
Oh, wow, dude.
Camera guy, grips, like, oh, we're going on this show called Girls. We're like, all right,
All right.
We're gone.
we're gone.
How am I going to pay off this fucking Rolex?
Yeah, let me pick up this Rolex.
Hit Best Buy and get some mics for a couple of years from now.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get nostalgic. What's like the singular memory you each hold from making the show? Like, what's the one
Bro, if I
golden
give
moment?
you singular, that's like robbing the whole. But I mean, I'll give you one. But like, damn, we have so many. You go first. Oh.
Yeah, I got so many. Give me a
I
second
got
to think
so
about
many.
it.
Well, then,
I also don't want to blow up any spots.
Well,
so I'm telling you, which one should I like tell? You know
I mean,
what I'm saying? Like,
that show happened at a time of our lives. We were like early 30s, late 20s, living in New York. I remember like after the show caught fire in the city, like people loved it. I remember like walking into Avenue and they would like play the theme song.
That's
Like,
sick, dude.
And I'm just like, oh shit, we have arrived.
You're like a rapper. You're like a rapper walking to the club and they play your singer.
And then
they play
Cudi would get on the mic and so
Yeah.
everything was like, it was like, I just remember like being handed the keys to New York City for 3 years.
That's so
it's like
fire.
It was great. No, but one of my best memories. So just the time in our lives, and we were just young and just in it. But I think
this was kind of like your first breakout roles for each of you, right?
for me, yeah, I mean, like I had done an indie movie called Raising Victor Vargas,
Right.
which is about the Lower East Side.
Yeah.
I had done that a few years before, but
Yeah.
like this one was on a whole nother level in terms
Right.
of exposure.
I did like a show called Unscripted on HBO before this, and then I was on One Tree Hill, and then I had my own show called October Road on ABC. Not my own show, but I was the lead of that show, and so I did have some success, but this felt like a whole.
There's
like,
a prestige level
This
to
was just
this.
so cool.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I just was a cool.
You
thing
were
to
the
be part
Kings
of.
of New York.
For a minute, we had a moment.
But 3 years as Kings of New York is like that would be like being the king of Cleveland for a decade, right? So
who's king in New York now? I guess Jalen Brunson's good.
Brunson, that's a captain, brother. I know you're a big fan.
Oh hell yeah,
Shout out the captain, bro.
Did you get like courtside? Like, did you ever get put on the jumbotron at MSG? And what was the reaction?
We both have. I mean, separately,
They
but
show
yes.
how to make it clips,
And it was always how to make it clips.
dope.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah, like they showed the one with me and the kid on the subway with the sneakers.
Yeah.
That was cool to see that on the jumbotron.
I think it's very rare that there's such a New York show that is beloved by New Yorkers.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
That's
I
real
think
pride.
It spoke to people.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I guess the memory for me is we got to go to Tokyo and shoot in Japan.
Sick.
And we lived our best lives for a week.
I'm sure.
And
On HBO's dime.
yeah, in fact, I think that's why we got canceled.
Oh, you guys went too hard?
We spent mad K. We was going
Crazy.
No,
They put us up at the Park Hyatt.
there was no like overhead there. It was just like us and the camera.
Skeleton crew. It was
The suits are asleep in LA. You're like, yo, we blew episode 7 budget on
You guys just
Omakase.
had- you
that
guys
was
just
the
had-
last thing we shot.
Yeah, you guys
That
just
was
had,
the-
What a way to go out.
Mark's, who was it? He was just talking about his flight because he was going back and forth and he came to do the show for you guys. It was a 14-hour flight. It was
W. David Marks.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
And so when I was listening to that his episode, I was like, I remember when Bryan and I went on that flight, and dude, and he was like, 14 hours ain't nothing, but on that flight when you flying first class, it's amazing. You're like, you wanted to keep going. You're like, that's it?
Can we went take a lap?
Bro, take a lap, refuel, go back. I want to stay on this flight. And that's when I heard that episode, I was thinking about that. Yeah.
So is that your golden memory of
Yeah, no, not just the flight. No, yo, you want to hear something crazy? The crazy thing is we got to the Hyatt, right? The Park Hyatt.
Yeah.
When we were there in Shibuya or whatever. Is that where we was at? Where were we?
Shibuya, Shinjuku,
Something like that. We were at the same hotel basically where they shot Lost in
Shinjuku.
Translation.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like, I saw that movie, love that movie. I'm trying to be like Scarlett Johansson up in this movie, right? So we get
Looking
there,
for a
right?
sugar mama?
No, I don't know about all that, but I was like, all right, yo, we're gonna have fun. So we shot, right? And then we had, I think, a day off, or we were supposed to shoot later in the day. But then everybody got up that morning, everybody's having their little coffee or whatever, and everybody's like, yo, where's Vic? Yo, he's late. Well, and I'm like, there's no call time. We're here in the skeleton crew. Bro, let me tell you something. I was there, I was getting the massages. I had the sushi come up to my room.
You ordered
I
like
was
2 Japanese breakfasts.
They were
for
calling
himself.
me. I was like purposely not picking up the phone. I'm like, I could be an hour late because there's no call time.
Right,
we out here
right.
on our own. It was crazy.
And that was the
why we
last
got
thing you guys
canceled.
shot for the show.
That's why we got
So,
canceled.
And is that a
grand opening,
coincidence?
grand
That's why we got
Is that a
canceled.
coincidence or is that
Grand
We closed that tab big.
put it on the room?
I'm not saying it happened, but that's
Right.
this is a big correlation.
Yeah,
Right.
Timing,
Causation is not
coincidental.
correlation, but
Timing
you know.
is coincidental.
I'm not. I think one of the reasons why I love the show so much, why Lawrence loved the show so much, why a lot of like guys in our world and our industry loved it so much in New York was like,
Yeah.
there were kind of like little details or Easter eggs that were so you're like, oh shit, that does make sense, or
Right.
that is how it works in the showroom, or like, yeah, like you would just roll a fucking yards of denim down the street. What research did you guys do to kind of immerse yourself into the world of that late 2000s,
Yeah.
early 2010s downtown New York City streetwear fashion scene, which was such a moment. It was such like streetwear 2.0.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what do you guys do?
You should go first.
Besides just growing up, or you growing up here and you spending a lot of time here
yeah,
and going to school here.
here, and I was living here at the time. And I was always kind of like into hip hop and sneaker culture and
Right.
streetwear. But I didn't really get super into it until I started playing Ben Epstein. And I think we were in LA at the time. We started hanging out with the Hundreds crew, Ben and Bobby Hundreds, and
Yeah.
they sort of took us in, and it was fun because they had this friendship, and it was very similar to Ben and Cam's journey. So that was cool. We got to see their whole operation, and they were really doing well in the streetwear scene at that time. And then like Eli Gessner, who I mentioned before, was New York, kind of brought us in. We met Aaron and all these guys out here.
The peg leg guys?
Yeah,
Rainbow?
Peg Leg guys. Yeah, we met those guys. I think they were on the show. Weren't they?
There's
they
in
on
the
the show?
intro,
Yeah.
they use photos from Peg Leg's OG like blog, and my boy Bobby Walter, he's like one of the guys. There's a photo of him just like in front of like a fucking huge piece of graffiti. But I think they like were consultants or something on the.
Well, that's what they told
I
I think
people.
they were in it.
Shout out Barry.
Yeah, a lot of consultants apparently on this.
That might be another causation correlation. One of those.
I remember like going really deep down the rabbit hole on Jound.
Oh,
you
shout
know,
out
like
Justin, dude.
Yeah,
friend
like
of the show.
I never met dude, but I think he's great, and he was huge. I really was into his blog at the time. I would just stare at that for hours.
Yeah.
for
You and
research.
everybody, bro.
Yeah.
There was the Bible.
Yeah, so that was big for me. And the costume designers were great on the show. Kurt and Bart. Like I had this whole like similar to you. Like you wanted to wear the fitted. I wanted to wear Jordans. Like I wanted to be like the street culture. And they're like, no, you're gonna wear broken in boots. I'm
Right.
like, boots. And I'm like, oh, okay. So Ben is like this eternal style fashion. He's
Right.
not chasing a trend.
A classic
Right.
Americana
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, and that really opened my eyes big time to the character and to the world too. So I don't know. I learned a lot from, and then since then, you know, I've really been immersed into the
For
world.
sure.
Do people know how much you were just spending time with like the titans of the industry? Like, you know, fucking
Barbados.
Bobby Hundreds is like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's like Aaron, like they're
Yeah.
the kings.
The
Yeah,
Don.
yeah.
Aaron the Don. They call
Aaron,
that for a reason.
they
Yeah.
are the Dons.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever hear from like when the show started going? Did you ever hear from like streetwear brands or streetwear designers about what they thought of the show?
Yeah, I mean, Bobby. I
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
Bobby Huntress was one of them early
Yeah.
on too.
Yeah.
I feel like we were onto something because I feel like he was showing mad love too. He was
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I think it spoke to a lot of people within the, I mean, you guys came from that world, right?
Yeah.
Like, what was it? We
I mean,
guys
we
in
were
10
no-
deep?
No, but we were too.
We were in a showroom. We were working in a showroom that I think the showroom arc was maybe based on.
No
BPW.
way.
I think so.
You think
bro.
so? I don't know.
It was like
that's
just like
crazy.
it was like
Well,
kinda
we were
like,
just starting
like
our
girl
careers.
like girl boss like boss bitches like running the
Mhm.
showroom. I think it was that. But it was I think I was we were just out of college.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like somewhat friends with some of the peg leg guys, but other than that it was like we were just like, oh shit, how to make it America.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
we felt like we were living it though, and that's why
a lot of fashion
Right.
people have come up to
me.
me and told me that this is spoke to them. Like
Yeah.
people, it's been.
Did you guys ever hear from Supreme about how the crisp like the APC Supreme like the fuck 'em jean is exactly like the
Is
fucking
it?
crisp- yeah, that's what it's based
the
on.
first time I'm
I
hearing
didn't
that.
know
Oh,
that.
really? You didn't know
either,
that?
Yeah.
What, you mean the fucking crisp
So-
on,
so-
the, on the denim?
Is the same as so Supreme did an APC collab and it said "fuck them" right in the same exact spot.
Ah.
So somebody like which to me I was like I wonder if you ever heard where they were like that's a cool homage or if they were pissed off.
Yeah.
But
But that's
Probably
what
not.
it's based on.
when we did fucking
they're
Crisp on the
they're
show.
fine. They're fine.
Yeah, they just get bought out. I'm sure they're doing just fine.
Supreme gets really angry and people rip them off, you know.
Yeah.
And,
But
and
then
bite
didn't we
their
have
shit.
fucking Crisp? Like when the show came out, that was before Fuck 'em, I feel like. So I don't think we bit them.
Did they bite you? No.
Oh, wait a
Well, Might have
minute.
to fact check
I smell
this.
a lawsuit.
Yeah, we have to.
Oh, shit.
Well,
It's the
not with
exact
us.
same
That was
placement
HBO,
on the
if even if
pocket.
it-
Do those jeans even exist? Like
I have a pair of those jeans. Cuddy's got a pair of those jeans.
I saw them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yo.
We got,
I mean,
we
they're
got,
collected
I've
dust.
got
I mean,
a couple pieces from the show.
How
and
much-
also, we got a couple tees still from the show, like
Yeah.
the train.
Yeah,
New York
yeah.
Eats Its Young.
Yeah.
We still have that one.
Yeah.
How much do you think those would go for on Grilled?
Oh man.
I-
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a really good
When
question. I
times
could
get
use
tough,
that.
we're
Honestly,
only
yeah,
gonna
I was
find out.
gonna say,
I can
dude.
use that cake, man. I'm trying to get this rolling,
Yeah.
bro. But you know, the one thing you asked the question about with Bryan, I just wanted to say, like, with me, I never usually do this in my process, but like, this is actually one of the only roles where like I purposely didn't want to know a lot about the fashion industry. Especially, you were right. Like around that time, there was something going on when we were shooting
Right.
in fashion when we were shooting How to Make It. But I feel like for Cam, it was better that he knew nothing because I felt like that was the comedy.
Right,
that was
yeah.
the comedy within it.
Well, he was like, let's get rich making a streetwear brand.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That
And
was
they're
his
like, oh,
character.
you know all about it? Great. Like,
It could
whatever
be
you think is
anything.
right,
It
I'm
doesn't
going to go with
matter.
that.
Yeah.
But being like a Dominican guy from the fucking Lower East Side, like was Cam just who you were at that point in your life?
So Cam. So the thing is that with Cam, like all the lines when it came to like rapping to a girl or
Right.
we just watched episode 3, and I don't know if you guys remember, but in episode 3 I was down at the skate park trying to sell Wilfredo's decks, and I'm like, yo, skate that.
Yeah.
I grew up with all that shit. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember dudes selling piraguas and fucking all this. Like that's how everybody was hustling. They were
Right.
screaming out, yo.
Yeah.
So that. Growing up in LES, of course, there was a lot of elements to
Right.
like and it was great because for me at that time in my career, I was trying to like, before How to Make It, I was trying to do other things. So I wasn't just seen as a Dominican cat from LES. So it was like full circle when I got cast.
Right.
I was like, oh, great. I get to do all the things and say all the things that I heard growing up.
Right.
When like the way how cats used to rap to a girl. When they was
So you
trying to-
ad-libbed a lot of that stuff?
I did
or-
not ad-lib, but because his ear was always to the street.
Right.
If it kind of didn't sound right, I would add a little bit of Vic, but like for the most part, the writing was so good.
Right.
Yeah.
It was written. A lot of it was
Ian
written.
Edelman is
Yeah, he
great.
killed it.
He's the creator of the show, and he was a great writer.
Murdered it.
Great writer.
But Vic, as a native New Yorker, did you have to give Bryan any advice on how how to not come off like a hayseed corn ass farm boy from Nebraska?
Nah, because I never felt that from you. Let me tell you, Bryan Greenberg. Bryan Greenberg, he's the most, and I'm not even saying this because he's here, and he knows I've told him this before.
I'm worried. What are you
I
going
was
to
going to say, you look very
He's-
pressed, Brian.
I'm like,
He's like the
brace
most
myself.
soulful, hip, like non-white but white person I've ever met.
The highest compliment a white
Damn.
person can be paid.
I don't know how
I can
to
say that
I'll
as a
take
white
it.
boy.
I don't know if I'm going to get grilled for that by
No.
people, but that's how I always see him. He's like, it's
Yeah.
Here's the thing, man.
but the most unassuming white dude I ever met. Let's put it like that.
I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
And I lived there for 12 years. And then I moved to St. Louis, Missouri. My father's from Queens, New York.
Okay.
And so I would always come here as a kid. So growing up in the Midwest, being Jewish too, by the way, in the Midwest, you're just like, all right, I don't feel like this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, even though
This
I'm
ain't it.
grateful.
Like I've seen Seinfeld. This-
I just was like, this doesn't feel
Yeah.
right. I mean, Omaha was great, but St. Louis never felt totally comfortable there. And I remember going to New York, and I was just like, that's.
Yeah.
It was always calling me, and you know, just all the music I was listening to, all the actors I admired, you know, all the hip hop. And so the first chance I got when I was 18, I went to NYU, and I feel like this is, and I still live in LA, you know, but I feel like New York is my home. It's always kind of, it's just in me. I don't know.
And right off the bat, when we met, we spoke the same language.
Right,
so that's
right.
another thing I was going to say.
It was seamless. No. I was just no. Well, you're going to regret giving me the mic time here. I was going to say we've been talking about the reboot. One thing that I would say from one Juju to another is if there is a reboot and Ben is involved, maybe we don't use Epstein as the last name.
Right. It's not popular at the moment.
No.
Yeah.
No, that just say, just a thought.
I noticed that.
Just a thought.
Maybe like you have
I
a,
gotta go.
you have a
Ben
kid.
Greenberg. Greenberg is great, actually. That's better.
Maybe like the character as a kid, and the kid takes his mother's name or
Young
something.
kids.
yeah.
Exactly.
The next generation.
They have their own island.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Let's talk about fucking Cutter. What was the most? Because you guys,
Cutter.
you know, coming up, first breakout roles, but Kid Cudi brings the star power. What was a moment you remember when he really flexed his rich guy nuts on you?
I mean,
Well,
rich guy nuts.
first of all, like it's crazy. We just had him on our podcast,
Yeah.
right? And I think it was one of our best episodes because we talked about the chronology, right? Like when nobody knew really who he was, and then on our show, he just happened to become who he is now, right? The first album comes out,
Right.
he's like performing
Man on the
with
Moon.
Jay, and it was crazy. But the first time he flexed his nuts, that's funny because he talks about in our podcast how he tried so hard. Like even though he
He struggled with the fame.
he struggled with the fame,
yeah.
and so he would show up to say he felt like it was the only safe place he felt.
Oh, wow.
where he could be himself without being like, "Yo, I'm Cudi now and I arrived." Like he
Right,
felt
right.
like, "Oh, y'all met me and y'all knew me before I was who I
It's
was."
like Scott versus Cudi.
Correct.
Like that
Yeah.
I guess the
dichotomy,
first the difference I noticed was like, he was Scott when we, you know, I mean, he's still always Scott
from the
to
Babe
us.
store. Scott.
Yeah,
Like,
but like,
yeah,
like he's the homie. We love him, and like, so this is in no way talking shit. But I do remember like after Man on the Moon, like all of a sudden he had like a security guard with him.
oh, shit.
yeah,
that's
oh,
it.
okay.
That's
Never
it.
know.
That's it.
This
That was
is
it.
so. You're,
Did he pull up in like
you're
a
him
fucking
now.
foreign and you guys are like pulling up the Toyota Corolla?
He's always.
I mean-
Was it he started smoking rapper weed?
Yeah.
I cannot hang with him on the weed shit.
I'll say, how much
sure.
weed
Yeah.
did he smoke on set?
I mean, I can't smoke anymore. Like I can't. I
Yeah.
used to smoke all the,
the type
time.
of
Shit's
the
too
type
strong.
of weed that where you like,
I get paranoid now.
I'm quitting. That's
Yeah.
you kind of feel like, I'm done. I'm not.
Yo, I feel like I'm a man on the moon.
Yeah. Too high.
You ever catch or who is more fun to smoke with, Kid Cudi or Luis Guzman?
Ooh,
We smoke with Luis?
I smoked with Luis before.
Yeah, Vic did.
Cudi, I
Sorry,
think.
Brian.
I think Cudi, man, like, and also when he puffs, I mean, like he's first of all, he's
Well,
mad
it's all
funny,
day.
and it is all day. I guess you're right.
It's like there's always a joint, bro.
I believe it's day and night. Yeah.
Actually, he's right. Yeah, it is all day.
He's a functional. He can do it. I can't
He's a
take one hit.
functional-
I'm done for the day.
What about now that you're an
I'm out.
LA guy? You don't like take like little micro dose
It's way
edibles
too
or
strong.
something?
Well, I do actually to sleep. I'll take a little,
Okay.
like
Nice.
A little
like a
CBD.
10.5,
A dad dose.
Yeah, a little dad
Yeah.
dose, just kind of drift off. Not like not
And
getting into paranoid.
I'm all
and,
about
like
sativa. I
hating
don't do the
myself.
indica. I don't
Right.
do that shit.
Yeah.
Not in the
That's what
couch.
puts- yeah, not in the couch. Yeah.
A little melatonin.
Because I could
you
get
know?
shit done. It's like, it's
No,
great.
dude, it's
because you could actually
lock
get
in, bro.
Lock
Yeah.
in.
I love that shit.
Do you ever
I should have puffed
catch
it today, right now before y'all, B.
you ever catch Cudi just humming to himself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You really? I feel like you more because you guys have that music element because you
Yeah.
guys are both musicians.
He's just like the ultimate artist, man. He's always creating. He's always putting shit out there. I have nothing but respect for him.
By the way, we got to shout out his new movie Trap.
Yeah.
Go
Oh,
check
that's
it out.
right.
Yep.
Yo, his
Great
hair
in
looks
that.
glorious.
He's
in that.
hilarious.
He's
now.
getting great reviews too.
He's really funny in it.
Hilarious. He comes. It's like one of those things. You know how you hear, oh, he was in there for 5 minutes, but stole the movie.
Right.
Yeah, he
That's the role he got in that movie.
Yeah.
He's great.
As you get older as an actor, you just get more and more confident, I think, and you're just
Right.
willing to take bigger swings. And now it's fun to watch him do that.
Yeah.
Do you think he's underrated as an actor?
I think he's getting his due now.
I think he's getting his due now too.
Yeah,
Because he's great on the show.
Yeah.
I mean,
What
but
was
like,
he was in like a was he in what Pearl?
no,
X?
he was in the first one. The
He
whatever
produced that too.
Yeah, X,
Yeah,
I believe.
X.
Yeah.
Where he's
He
just
got
like
killed.
He's like a porn star.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
Oh,
funny.
I just wrote myself as a porn star. How fucking
Yeah.
gratuitous. Yeah.
And you do see the outline of his huge ass penis in the movie.
He's got
I
a
think it's
great
prosthetic,
mustache.
but yeah.
How's the hog though? To be determined.
It's doing all right. It's doing all right. It's doing- yeah, it's doing all right.
Speaking of large cylindrical objects, what was in the Rasta Monsta cans?
Yo,
Yep.
it's before its time. It's Celsius over here.
Yep.
Is that a sponsor?
I wish, dude. Oh, please, Celsius.
Because I noticed how you adjusted the label.
Oh, I don't even mean to. I'm just putting my sins in there.
I didn't
but
even catch that.
Without this shit, I'll die, dude.
yeah.
Yo, it was like a bad version of like, you know, those like Dole pineapple juices,
Yeah.
but with the fizz in it. Pause.
Yeah.
But the fizz, and then a little bit mix of like fruit punch together. It was terrible.
So they actually made something to put in the
think
can.
so.
Better spicy.
Pero spicy. Yeah, I forgot about that. But like I don't know if they put like big pause, but they put extra. They put he might have
Cam
to edit
over
that
here.
out, but
Killer
You're good,
Cam
you're
over
good.
here.
they put extra like fizz in it because I feel like you tasted it and then like that nasty taste got into the back of your tonsils and then it kind of like offset the bad initial taste.
Like,
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
like kombucha.
Like kombucha, but a little bit
It's
sweeter.
like orange wine.
Tastes like
Yeah.
a foot.
Yeah. Shrek's bathwater.
There's a reaction of me when in the first episode when I drink it and it was like a genuine reaction. I was like, oh,
what the fuck is this shit? I gotta drink this for a whole
this
season?
is
What
terrible.
the hell, dude?
This is terrible.
But again,
Yo, hold on. With the question
yeah.
that I thought you were going to ask was about. So I don't know if you guys know in LA, but after How to Make It comes out, there's a tour bus all of a sudden popping up in LA. You know those tour buses like
Rasta
the Star.
bus.
It's called the what?
I don't know.
It's called like the Rasta bus or whatever. It's an exact bite off of Rasta Monsta.
wow.
And people are like, yo, that they bit that off from How to Make It in America.
Really?
And it's still out till this day. but
Wait,
it's
for
only
real?
in LA.
It outlasted the show?
Yes. Well,
What are they?
Biters,
What are they doing? Trying to track down Chet Hanks's
No,
home?
no, no. It's one of those. No, it's one of those celebrity. You know, like let's.
Yeah,
it's
like
a
the Star
Oh,
Homes.
I
Yes.
see. Okay.
But the whole theme of it is called like the Rasta something. Like
Okay.
it's exact. The graphics look almost like Rasta Monsta and everything. So you know,
Did they steal it
we
from the
inspired
fucking,
something.
Did they steal it from the impound where the Rasta Monsta truck got taken?
yeah, right?
We inspired not just fashion, but we inspired the Rasta movement.
Well, I was gonna say if How to Make It was a show today, I feel like the Rasta Monsta would be a real drink.
The tie-ins are
right.
right there.
Crisp would be a
Yeah.
real
Chris would
brand.
be a real brand.
Yeah.
Rasta Monsta
Right
would
now,
be a real
you
drink.
came out.
Yeah.
Right
of
now,
course.
yeah.
Yeah.
There'd be a
Well, also,
fucking
you
bus
guys-
going on the Lower East Side, being like, "Look, that's where
What
Cam-
you guys do talk about male fashion, that wasn't being
Right.
done at the
Yeah,
time.
totally.
Like I remember
again
I was
ahead of its time."
I was telling people like, oh, we're doing a show about fashion. They're like, what? Like,
Fashion.
guys like doing fashion. I was like, yeah, guys do fashion too. You know, it's but now it's normal.
Now it's
More
a
You guys
normalized,
made
for
a
sure.
career of it.
Yeah.
You know,
I think so.
There's an audience.
Speaking of a guy that's involved in fashion, executive producer Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
What was your sickest interaction with him?
he was on set
He was
a couple
on set.
times.
Did you wake up at 2 a.m. to pray with him?
I
No.
wasn't invited. For that. Yeah.
Did he try to convert you?
Different God.
Apparently, I guess he gets up like 3 a.m.
Yeah,
Works
His
out.
schedule is crazy,
He like
bro.
works out. No, I'm
Yeah.
talking about legit. Like
Yeah.
it's the
He
gym.
works out, prays, takes like work calls, golfs, spends about 30 minutes with his family.
Yeah.
Like it's
At
scheduled.
3 in
It's
the
like
morning, you wake up. It's
Yeah.
He goes to bed at 7 p.m. and
But
wakes
all
up
those
at 2 a.m.
highly successful guys are like that, like The Rock or Kevin
Yeah.
Hart. It's like it's
Biohacking type
Every
shit.
moment is scheduled and accounted for.
Have you guys become like LA guys since you moved out there? Like, are
this
you
dude?
Oh,
Yeah?
yeah.
He always says, "All right."
You switched, yo,
wait,
you
wait,
switched
hold on,
up.
wait,
man.
wait, Wahlberg real quick, though.
Wahlberg. I got to
Yeah,
give him a
yeah,
shout,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because like
That's what I was
he
gonna say.
he was executive producer, so he wasn't on set all the time, but he threw his weight around when we needed him to.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
when we need Louis Guzman, he made the call.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
You know what I mean? So like, and he'd show up on set and he's
He's
great.
mad cool.
He's so cool to be
He's
around. He's
mad
like,
cool.
he's easy. You
And
know?
we're not just saying that because it's
Yeah.
like he's like legit mad cool.
So-
Right, right,
And
right.
if you actually you kind of get a glimpse of it because if you follow him on his Instagram, you know how like obviously he goes somewhere, he like legit will stop and like give you mad love if you're a
good
fan.
dude.
He's not like,
Good
yo,
dude.
peace out. He like legit is like about the people.
He like launched his own streetwear brand.
Yeah,
Municipal,
which is
bro.
kinda-
He loved the show though. I think he was a fan of How to
Yeah?
Make It too.
Do you think?
Like,
Do you think Municipal is kind of inspired by Crisp NYC?
Yeah,
I heard they are opening up a retail store in LA now.
What?
Yeah,
Municipal.
That's what I heard.
I mean,
The sweatshirts are doing that well,
big business.
I wouldn't be surprised
I don't
if it's
know.
crushing it.
bro.
It's a lot of fit checks outside
you
of
guys
private
know.
jets. Got to
You
pay
tell
for them
me.
somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
No, I agree with you.
Enforced knees for praying at 3 a.m.
Yeah, I'm not doing all that.
Hey, man, it's working for him.
I ain't
It's
doing
working for him, man. Maybe I need to start doing
Sorry,
that.
you was asking.
Well, I want to ask. So you guys, okay? So How to Make It in America, obviously such a New York thing, but being LA guys now, have you been
How
LA
are we soft
pilled?
now?
Like,
Yeah.
are you doing fucking Pilates and shoving crystals up your butts? Like, what are you? What are you doing?
How did Vic switch up,
Yo,
Bryan?
don't sleep on the crystals.
Literally, because they're in your ass. Don't sleep on
They
them.
will
Not
infect
sleep
your
on
rectum.
they say you should do it after 35.
Check this out. Check this
wait,
out.
what's
I got a story for y'all, man. Yo, so we've both been living
Mr.
in LA for a
Softy.
minute, right?
Yeah.
So How to Make It gets canceled, right? At the time, I just got cast in 50 Shades of Grey. Speaking of crystals up your butt.
Yeah, wow.
So I got cast 50 Shades of Grey. We have a hangout. We hang out. It's me, Bryan, Ian. We go to Ian's house, right? And I show up, just straight relaxed. It's like you calling, yo, coming to the crib.
Yeah.
It's like it was
Well,
it
pop
was-
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like
About to
so
post
you
up.
throw on what you wear at your house. You're like, I'm just gonna throw on some shoes. I'll be there.
Some
like,
Gap.
or the Gap. By the way, I want to get to that.
I want to
story
get
too,
their
by the way.
opinion
Yeah.
on this. I know where you're going with this. I want to get their opinion.
hold on. So this
We got,
fool-
what year was this?
2016. I remember because I had just got cast.
Keep that in your mind.
So I show up to the crib, and we had just found out How to Make It got canceled. So we all hanging out. I get there, and this fool, he looks at what I'm wearing, and he goes, "Yo, Vic, you're wearing Crocs?"
Damn.
Joe, he gave me the most disgusting look. Till this day, I've
You're
never
like,
seen.
bro, I'm unemployed now, bro.
No, it's
I'm
not
wearing
even that. But I'm like, yo, these are mad comfortable, legit. Like, I'm like, yeah. Like, who am I? First of all, who am I impressing? I'm with y'all.
He's
Like,
a pragmatist.
yeah.
it's not like
Yeah.
I'm at your crib. I'm like, so I'm like, damn, dude.
Still, bro.
Trust
yo,
me, bro.
piss you
I
off.
was in fear of ever wearing them around him, right? Yo, flash forward 9 years later. Now Crocs is the bomb, right?
Exactly.
You called it.
The only thing I'm saying is that
But he
it's not
wasn't
that.
doing it to be a trendsetter.
I was
He's
trying
doing
to
it 'cause he's
be
lazy.
It's not
Like,
that.
trust me, bro. In 4 years, athleisure is going to be a
He
thing.
was on that
Boom.
Costco shit.
Shut up, yo. So what I'm saying is,
Vitamin
if
bulk.
being in LA, I was already ahead of the trend. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
You wanted to set
Dropping the mic.
If
set
Vic
the
is
record
anything,
straight.
he's ahead of the trend. 2016, Crocs. What do we think, guys?
Right
Dog
about
walking
right,
shoes?
right about
Dog
that.
walking shoes, but
Yeah.
yeah, Crocs
It's back.
Like Salehi's fucking collabs and shit.
Those are cool. My kids wear those. My kids wear nothing but Crocs, by the way.
Nothing but Crocs.
That's all they wear.
They have giblets or giblets or whatever.
They love those giblets. Yeah, yep. They love the Cars.
Giblets
movie.
are pig intestines, and I think you guys are talking about gibbets.
Yeah,
Gibbets.
giblets.
Giblets.
Yes, it is.
Just-
How do we feel about Crocs though now, guys? I feel like you guys have the authority.
Dog walking shoes, fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Around the crib shit. Do you guys feel like you have to be extra New York when you're in LA? You have to like play up to New Yorkness, almost kind of like Turtle and Entourage.
I just talk shit about LA when I'm in LA. I stopped doing that though.
Yeah, you
I've-
actually recently have stopped.
Yeah,
doing that,
I used to hate LA. And then it wasn't until I had kids and I realized how many people I've been there for on and off for like 20 years. And I was like, oh, I got like roots here now. This is like I have more roots here than I do in New York. I come back to New York. I'm like, after this, I'm gonna walk around New York. And I'm like, I don't even know who to call. Like everybody's gone. You know? So I'm gonna hang out with you guys.
I got a kombucha guy in LA.
No, I have like everybody left New York.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like I have more people in LA. I don't know. I found my people, so LA is
Okay.
good.
Yeah. And
Wait,
you guys, I mean, that's
I want you
also
guys to tell me what's hot though, like fashion.
New York?
Just like shoes, fashion. Like put me on, man. What's
fucking.
I mean,
I know the
I-
socks. The socks are fire.
No, they're not.
A lot
No,
of
they're not.
people
Do
hate
not-
them,
do
but
not,
thank you.
Do not enable this man.
Yeah.
Here's a nice example of what not to do, what to do.
Okay. Yeah. Put me
No,
on.
it's
damn,
tough.
bro.
The shit moves so fast. It's almost like
What are
it's
you
funny.
into?
We talk about how because you guys, I think, How to Make It in America was almost like pre or right in the early days of like the hypebeast era.
Right.
The hypebeast doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
There's no dominant male archetype of like how to dress like a cool guy. It's kind of just everybody's doing everything.
Yeah.
So as long as you
the
like,
sneaker game's dead.
absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, resell
As a
kind of
fucking
killed
dead.
it. Resell killed it. Nike is who knows what
They
Nike's
stopped
doing.
innovating.
Yeah.
We're like Asics, New Balance guys.
Okay.
A lot of brands. Like I'm wearing sneakers from like a menswear, contemporary menswear brand,
like
Our
those.
Legacy. What are you wearing?
Power
boots.
I like those.
Thank you.
So it's kind of like as long as you're doing what you like
Yeah.
and you're doing with confidence and you're doing with some sort of like curiosity and
Enthusiasm.
critical thinking and enthusiasm,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
But dressing like a celebrity or copying a formula.
Right.
It's pretty obvious when you're just dressing like what you see on Instagram.
So Brian,
Right.
if you got to ask, you can't afford it.
Right. I can't afford it. But I guess I don't know. It's so bifurcated now. Like you're saying, there's no like trendsetters. I don't know.
That's good because
I guess
people
it
should
is.
find out for themselves.
Yeah,
'cause it's
yeah,
for
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Which is now I want to know about the Gap, Vic. Tell us about the Gap.
Yeah. Tell us about your Gap sponsorship.
So first of all, across the street from your studio, I used to go to this school. You know, I used to go to the little after school right here, get my homework done.
Don't
and all
dox
that.
them.
Hold up. But growing up poor in LES, right? The only thing that I could afford that my mom could afford for me was, remember when Old Navy first came out? It had a spot on 14th and 6th.
16th and 6th.
16th.
Yeah, 14th,
Yes,
15th.
it was a huge
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
So when that came out, it was like, okay, Gap made that, but I can't afford Gap. So my mom was like, we could go to Old Navy, right?
Yeah.
So Old Navy and Gap have
Then we'll hit the
always had-
container store.
yeah, and so now, that's funny. So now being back, right, doing the pod, being back in in New York, in LES, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna wear this just because it's nostalgic, and I could afford now Gap. So that's the Gap, and also shout out to Gap because I did do a campaign many years ago when I first came onto the game.
There it is.
So Gap, you know, what I'm saying if y'all want to hire me again,
Gap, baby.
there's the plug right here. But
that's a good story because you're doing it like because that's for you, right?
Yes.
And like
Yeah.
what it
Yeah.
means for you, not like what am I going to signal to some fucking guy on the street who I don't give a fuck about anyway?
Right.
Also, Gap is good now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Gap
so
is
they
back.
say, you know,
Gap is back.
yeah, but that's
Shout
my
out
personal
Calvin.
story.
Post yay?
Oh yeah. I think they dropped the dead weight.
Anything post-Ye is pretty good.
That's where
If you
look it
survive
up.
Ye, you're
Yeah.
cooking.
That's
You're
kind of
good.
why I was a little bit hesitant because I was like the whole Ye thing. But then I was like, you know, I got a real personal story. It's not like
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
making it
of
up.
course.
You know what I mean? Like I legit.
Bro, did Kanye ever interact with How to Make It America? He
No,
must-
I never met, dude.
No,
Never
but
met
you know, there's a story that we almost the whole Jay-Z story.
Oh,
So we put it on our we say it on our podcast that so Jay-Z, there was a little bit of miscommunication because there was legit Jay. Apparently, the story goes is that who was Jay's manager at the time, and he was like
Rich Kleiman.
that he came to work. They came to not Rockefeller. They had
Universal.
Yeah, it was Rockefeller.
Yeah.
They went to work like any regular day. Jay goes in. He's like, "Yo, so are we still doing that How to Make It show, whatever?" And that Rick was that?
Yeah.
Rick was like, "Oh, no, we're not doing that." Apparently, because the story goes that Rick thought that Jay wasn't going to do his, that his schedule's too busy.
Well, I'm not
whatever.
even going to bother him.
So that's the listen.
No.
That'd be crazy that everybody
It was
hears
supposed
be
to
like,
be like
"Yo,
a
is
little
this true?"
cameo?
There was supposed to be a
He was
little
supposed to do
cameo where Jay was like just gonna come to our Chris pop up and just roll down the window, but he like came too late. It was already closed and he just rolled
Yeah.
up the window. And
Yeah.
went by.
So that's the story. But because there was a miscommunication, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So thankfully, though, we got Pharrell because, I don't know if you remember. So Pharrell came. But the story goes that Jay was going to do it,
Damn.
but like, I guess it wasn't communicated to him now. Like, it was like a legit going to happen.
But
Yeah.
I am still live in New York. I'm not totally LA. So I don't
Yeah,
have to-
Thank you for
I
correcting
need
the
to like,
record.
yo, man.
Okay.
Bro, I'm crashing on his couch. So he legit does live in New York.
He has a place.
Yeah.
But just think that gif of 50 Cent pulling away an Entourage, that's like an internal meme. That could have been Jay-Z.
Yeah. Wait,
Just roll the window up.
Speaking
been
of
crazy.
communication and shit, and I hope this isn't bringing up too much trauma, but how do you find out that your show is canceled? Like, how does that happen?
Oh man.
Bro.
I was skiing in Mammoth.
Tough life.
Yeah.
Should have got the rentals.
Just crying, freezing, tears. Ian called me. Was just like, yo, it's not happening.
But it's a call. It's just
He
like,
called me.
You're like, yo, don't buy another Rolex.
Yeah.
He goes, that crib you wanted?
Yeah.
Not happening.
It did crush me though. I talk about it on the podcast a
Yeah.
little bit, but like I just didn't see it coming, and it was so like I felt like the rug got pulled out from underneath me.
blindsided.
Yep. And it really sent me into a tailspin for a while because I think I got lost in the character, and I just identified too much with Ben Epstein. So it took me a couple years to like find myself again after
Sure.
that. But yeah, it was not. I just thought we were just hitting our stride.
How do you get lost in the character? Were you like too addicted to fucking
Just
copying
club
raw data?
life, baby.
Okay.
You know, no,
Club rat,
I know.
yeah.
I was just like, I just felt like I was just living in New York, and I don't know. I just was going down the rabbit hole of Ben and just the fashion world, and I don't know. I just felt like I was living that life. Like a lot of those times, we would shoot at those clubs and then or those
then
bars,
stay
and
there.
then
Like, yeah, we're gonna
just stay
chill.
there. Yeah,
Oh, we're wrapped. Okay.
yeah. It's just everything was so blurred.
Yeah.
Everything was so.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. You were asking earlier about your favorite stories. That was one of them too. Is that we would shut down the bar, like they be wrapping up all the gear, all the lights, all the cameras, We're like, no, we gonna stay, man. Can we have this tab open? Can y'all keep this tab open?
Tell those bitches that are extras they could stay too.
Yeah.
These beautiful women.
Sorry.
These beautiful women.
Yeah.
Sorry, the women. All right, let's talk about the podcast. You guys launched a podcast. We almost made it.
Yeah.
What is it about?
We don't know.
Thank
What
you
is
for
this
preparing.
about?
No, that's not true. I feel like we're
Everything
just
and nothing.
finding the voice on what it is. But like, if you had asked us when we first started, we're like, we don't know what we're doing.
Was it really
I
just
still
you're
don't know
like,
what I'm doing.
I kind of
well, no one knows what they're doing, but was it just like whether it was like Ian or other homies in your orbit were like, yo, you guys have the banter and the dynamic. Why don't you just record this and monetize it?
No, that didn't happen. I think we figured that out early that we do have the banter, the monetizing thing, sort of.
Monetizing friendships.
As you know.
Well done.
Yeah. But like in the chemistry for sure.
Thank you, Gap.
Yeah.
And Topo Chico.
Topo Choco. Chico Chaco.
Chico Topo.
But like now the podcast, now that we, I think, have found our stride, is definitely about something that resonates. It's a universal thing, right? It's hustling. It's like we would interview someone or just in our own lives be like, yo, wait, we bring you in as a guest and like we hear all these stories about how you got to where you are now, but wait, you had to do what to get there? You had to work as what? Like, and now even till this day, you still making X amount of money, but it's still not offsetting what you need to pay. Wait, what else are you doing? It's like, and people
fact finding.
Yeah, and but it's also like people are listening and like kind of connecting with that because I think, especially now, it's like one hustle is not enough. Like you gotta have mad side hustles. No matter, you don't gotta be in New York, by the way. We talking about LA, Tokyo. It don't matter where you are. Like you still need a side hustle. I don't care who you are. And that's kind of what the show is about.
I mean, I think it originated during the actors' strike, and we're like, "What the fuck are we gonna do?"
Right.
You know,
I'm bored.
We're bored, and like
My kids are annoying me.
and everybody. Can we get? Yeah, we just wanted to hang out, get away from the
Honestly,
kids.
that's how this happened.
Yeah.
We just wanted to hang out.
Just looking for an excuse.
We hated our jobs. We wanted to hang out.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it reads.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think we get asked all the time what happened in that show. So we're like, why don't we do for the fans, like a recaps? And then as we started talking about it, we're like, the themes of how to make it, as Vic was saying, they resonate. There's so many things that still resonate to this day. Like there's more here than just the 2 seasons of How to Make It America.
It's universal.
Yeah.
The universal.
And there's only 16
Yeah.
episodes, so there's so many recaps that we can do. So we're like, how are we going to parlay and
we're
keep
just
going?
attracted to people who are ambitious and have dreams, and we want to know what their mindset is and how they achieve that, and all the hardships and the down periods as well. Like, how did you overcome that? I mean, those are all things that we're interested in.
What was the worst jobs you guys had before acting? Or maybe during acting? What was the worst role you ever had to take on?
You go first. I already know what yours is, but yours is pretty bad.
What, acting?
No, which one before acting, right?
Like, were you the fluffer on 50 Shades of Grey? Is that
That was the butt plug guy.
He was the intimacy coach.
the butt plug cleaner?
Butt plug. I got it all lubed.
I worked. I worked for like
bad jobs
I had
before,
a lot
bro.
of bad jobs, man. I mean, I worked for like a real estate broker in New York City in college, and that was just a lot of like making files.
No, the golf club shit was my favorite.
I was a caddy when I was in 8th grade. I didn't know I hate golf, and like
that wasn't fun though. No Caddyshack vibes. Like,
I was
fucking off.
the golf bag that I was carrying was bigger than I was, and I would like lose the golf like their clubs and shit. I was terrible. And they were like, "Hand me a 5-iron," and I'm like, I can't even read.
I'm Jewish.
Yeah, I was like, I can't even be a member here at this club.
I lied on my
I'm the
resume.
help here.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I've had a lot of bad jobs. I got fired from Phoebe's over here on Bowery.
Oh shit.
Yeah, shout out Phoebe's.
Damn. How do you get fired from How do you get fired from
Shout out Phoebe's who fired me. It was really interesting. I guess I was terrible at my job. And
were you a barback or
no?
bartender?
I was a waiter.
Okay.
And in college, and I remember I just did not get along. I think I was miserable. Like I just wasn't. That wasn't my passion.
Right.
Surprisingly,
You were Phoebe's. I can understand. I can empathize with you being fucking miserable.
Yeah, and I would like work brunches on Sunday.
Oh,
it was not fun. And I just remember coming in, and the manager was like, he didn't like confrontation, but he didn't put my name on the schedule.
Passive aggressive.
And that pissed me off the most. I was like, "Yo, you made me come in here. You didn't even call me."
Did he pop off on him?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So shout out Phoebe's. Haven't been in there since.
Dude, being like a college kid and having to serve like the brunch crowd, like
which are mostly well, I don't know back then, but I feel like now it's like finance bro college guys too. Or
it was kind of that vibe.
It's college girls, finance bros.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you guys? Or did you answer yours?
Mine was so there was in the summer right here on Broadway. There was an art gallery, and I happened to be the guy who, when there was a show opening, they had to get all the art out of a storage, and I would have to lug it across
lug it all the
Broadway.
frames,
During the summer, which I was, I wanted to be in the local pool and be talking to the girls and shit. So to make some extra money, I would have to like huge paintings, lug it up the stairs to get the gallery ready, and then. She was so micro. I think that what I hated most is that she was such a micromanager. So you think that the art would go on one side of the gallery, but she'd be like, "No, I don't like it this. So you got to move it all the way over here." I was like, "Oh my god, I hated that." And it was a summer, and I wanted to be hanging out with friends. That was one time that I hated.
What about you guys?
I had one summer where I worked 2 jobs. It was actually, in hindsight, I kind of fucking loved it. I drove a van delivering groceries for a Japanese grocery store, Sunrise Mart on 3rd and 9th.
Okay.
Just all over New York, and just to like mostly just like Japanese households, and then sometimes weird white guys that would just answer the door in like robes.
Oh,
and they'd be like, "Oh, I only have change in quarters." I'm like, okay, and then I had a second job where when I'd lock the van up, I'd have to on like Bowery and like Bond, I'd have to go to. It's no longer there, but it was a Asian fusion lounge. And it was a bar back. That was like the parking lot.
Okay.
Then this Asian fusion lounge was on Spring. I think it's like a Sweet Green now, literally.
Okay.
It's across from, exactly. It's no longer there, but I was just a bar back. I'm gonna have to like clean up vomit and like kind of serve and like clean up tables and like bring up bottles and dump ice and shit until like 4 a.m. and then go home, sleep, and then wake up and deliver the van again.
Oh.
Made a lot of money that summer.
Yeah.
It was after freshman year of college. Lawrence?
Never had a bad job because I am dumb, blissful, unaware, naive, and also lazy on top of that. So I'm getting how I live, whether it's a podcast.
You worked at Hollister.
I worked at Hollister.
I love that, bro.
But that was chill, dude. I just like fucking flirted with the moms, got them to buy leggings during Christmas. That was easy.
That wasn't like Abercrombie where we had to take your shirt off, though.
No, they wanted me to keep my shirt on. Don't worry. I was not a greeter. I was a floor guy.
So I know you guys remain friends, but like working together is different than being friends, right? Working together on How to Make It and then working together now on We Almost Made It, the podcast. Yeah. How has that dynamic changed over the last decade or so?
Changed a bit.
Yo, it hasn't changed because you guys remember, we are legit from when it got canceled till this very day that we're talking to you guys. Nothing's changed. We've been homies literally like ever since. Like,
and you trauma bonded.
The hangout schedule, if we're not working on on location filming something, the hangout schedule pretty much has always been the same. The friends has always been the same. Like the spots that we hang out, I guess have always been the same. The only difference is that we have kids and now they're going to school together. Now we talk about,
and we don't play basketball as much as we used to.
No,
or you got to stretch.
No, because you kind of quit. But
you quit hooping?
No, but hold on up. But he has a good reason now. But I don't know about before this. But my man Bryan, he just booked the new Suits LA TV show.
Okay,
which is a huge deal.
Congrats, Bryan.
Congrats. Like contract. I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but as actors, like they actually they tell us. Not they don't tell us, but they indirectly tell us like. It's a breach of contract if you get hurt playing basketball or any sort of contact sport. So he has a good reason now, but it was already sort of going on the decline even before that.
You know what it is? I don't want to play with randoms. Like, no. We used to have. Well, actually, we had a great game.
You had a great. You can name that if you want, but that was a great run, bro.
Well, yeah, we used to play at George Clooney's house.
What?
Which was nice.
Well, he worked with Clooney, so he's friends with him.
And Clooney's sick, right?
Yeah, he's good. He's really good.
He told a story about how you fucking rinsed Leo and the Pussy Posse.
He can play.
He can play.
He had a run he has a court inside.
Yeah, this was like I did this show unscripted with George, who directed it, and it was his creation with Grant Heslov, his partner, and Steven Soderbergh produced it. That was like 2005, I think. I did that. Yeah. That was one of the coolest jobs I've ever had. But yeah, we became friends, and his friends were aging out of basketball, and so he would let me and my friends come and play every Sunday at his house. So we just did that run for a while.
Did he jump in?
What? Oh yeah, he played all the time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's great. He's
What's his game? What's Clooney's game like?
He's got a great first step.
Yeah,
great first step. Yeah. He's got a shot, and he just his pick and roll game with his guys. It's like
great. Clooney is
you can't beat him.
Dude.
Can't
great
beat him.
Bounce pass.
Yeah, they're great.
Strong fundamentals.
Great.
There was a game when I was playing, and I had already like played a few times with them, and which I was very grateful that Bryan invited me to.
What a friend.
There was one time I was going up for a layup, and Clooney and I was sort of the same size, or we were just D'ing up on each other. I was going, the story. I was going up for a layup, and when you go for a layup, you know how to play basketball. If you're righty, it's right, left, layup, right? I went right, left, and he was about to block me. And dude, my knee went right in his fucking nuts.
Oh, I do remember that.
Remember that? And I looked, and I was like, and he,
Not his Golden Globes.
He was, yeah, he
Right
was,
in the Clooney's.
No, I'm not even lying. He was so like chill about it. I guess I didn't hit him as hard as I thought.
Not and one. He didn't and one you?
No, and then I went back home, and then I remember talking to BG. I was like, I'm not gonna get invited.
I'm never gonna work in Hollywood again.
Swear to God, I was like, damn, man, that was because it was a really legit run. It was nobody was trying to hurt each other. You know,
Right.
You know, it's one of those basketball runs. It's not like sometimes in New York. You know, sometimes I've been in fights like out in New York growing up out here, like on 10th Street and Avenue D, which is where I grew up. I've seen fights and I've been in fucking, you know, just over some stupid like whatever. But I was like, I'm not gonna get invited anymore. And thank God. He was mad cool about it.
He's the coolest guy ever.
Yeah.
But so that game,
Right in the Michael Claytons.
Bro, I literally, no, it was like legit. And it wasn't on purpose.
You hit him in the
It
ocean.
was just one of those
He
things.
doesn't care.
You hit him in the
Shit
ocean.
felt so bad, dude. I was like, man.
You hit him in the
Remember that
ocean.
story, though,
You hit him
right?
in the oceans too.
There it
Remember that
is.
story though, right?
I do remember it now.
Yeah.
He told a story though. He's like, yeah, Leo came up. He's like, oh, you guys fucking play ball. Like, yeah, let's run it. And then him and like Tobey Maguire and the other pussy posse pussies, they ran a 3-man weave during warm-ups.
Right.
And Clooney turns to his boys, guys, these guys are fucking chumps. Like, who runs a weave?
I played in that
like-
game too.
Yo, how what?
Yeah.
I didn't play with them.
Yeah.
You played with Leo?
I had played in that
I
game.
didn't play that.
It's Hollywood's funny. They got all these like Sandler's got a game. Like there's
Right.
all these like different actor pod games. Like I think Bill Maher had a run.
Yeah.
I think Gary Shandling had a run for a while.
Yeah, R.I.P. dude.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to Shandling. I'm not trying to ball with Bill Maher, dude.
And
No
also
way.
Bob Dylan had a boxing gym too, which
What?
was
Okay.
just so super random. LA's a weird place.
How's Leo's game?
Yeah.
He's good.
Who's like the sneaky
solid.
best like celebrity hooper that you've played with? Like that we wouldn't expect.
I could tell you now. So, Bryan McKnight's got a great game.
I heard Frankie Muniz is nice.
No way.
I heard he's nice.
Jerry
He's not
Ferrara
racing.
and
Never
I-
played with him.
Jerry Ferrara and I have the similar game.
He can hit the three.
He can hit the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more of a like.
He's
to
like
the
a
hole.
he's like a true point guard.
But we have the same.
True one.
He's like a
But-
Steve Novak.
And you know who's got a
Jonah had a run for a little bit.
Jonah Hill?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I played with those guys.
Yo,
yeah.
there was one time, dude. I was part of something called the NBA E League. People
Oh, I
know
never
about
did that.
league?
Yeah.
Did you play in that?
I never did. But that was
that-
when they
is
give you
that-
the jersey.
I
and
got
everything.
schooled
Is
by
that gaming? What is that? Is that gaming?
No,
The
no.
E
No,
League?
NBA E League. So it was NBA Entertainment League.
Oh.
So like,
Sponsored. Yeah.
for a second, they don't
Lower
do that
than the D
anymore.
League.
Yeah.
So, dude, one time I got schooled by Ice Cube,
Ooh.
just raining. It's like he probably has a
Yeah,
hoop
he's
in his
good.
crib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, dude, there was I was like literally in his face and just still like, yes, son. And like, I was like, okay. And Jamie Foxx got
Fucked around and got a triple double.
legit in his rhymes. And I was the dude that he was talking about.
Damn.
I mean,
Damn,
obviously the rhyme came out way before me,
Yeah.
but still, it was crazy.
Damn.
Wow.
But yeah, so we don't ball as much anymore.
Who's the biggest ball hog in Hollywood?
Bryan McKnight.
Really?
He's that good, but he's
Right.
the ball hog, and I don't care if he hears this. Dude, he's not the best teammate. I hated playing with him, but I give him his flowers. He was nice. He was nice. Oh, you know who's nice too? Who's not a ball hog? I forgot. Is I think you played in this league, the Nike E League, the Nike League. I
Who?
forgot what it's called. Is Michael B. Jordan got a good game?
Oh, yeah.
does
he got
he?
a good game.
That
He
doesn't
got a really
surprise
good
me.
game. But Bryan McKnight is the biggest ball hog. I'll say that right now. I don't care if you're listening, bro. You remember?
I
me?
don't think Bryan McKnight
The
listens to our
Miami
show.
Heat game. You remember I was on the Miami Heat team. You never passed me the ball, son.
Yeah.
It's on site for McKnight. It's
I'll
on
just
site.
Yo, put that shit on tonight.
Don't edit it out.
Don't edit that shit out. Don't timestamp that shit.
Okay, so you guys aren't,
All right,
you guys
peace.
aren't balling
Peace.
Sorry,
as-
guys.
Yeah,
I got
So,
it.
no, you're not balling as much as you're potting, but what do you think it's harder to get off the ground and get popping today in 2024? A podcast or a streetwear brand?
Well, they're both pretty oversaturated.
No, that's
Yeah.
true. Crowded marketplaces.
Yeah.
A lot of celebrities coming in and fucking elbowing
Yeah.
out the
Yeah,
little
the-
guy.
yeah.
Well, we're trying to do both. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're trying to do both right
That
now.
merch.
Yo, Mark Wahlberg, you better wake up a little earlier.
Yeah.
Man, I think probably the streetwear
Yeah.
because it's just so many moving parts on that. You need a lot more. Like I feel like a podcast, you just need two mics. And
One
you can,
or one mic.
All I need is one mic.
and you need the dynamic of the
Yeah.
of the people involved, and you
Yeah.
need stories, and you need
Yeah.
like to be able to like fucking hold your own.
I think you
But
need
to
more-
to make stuff is tough.
A streetwear, it's first of all, streetwear is. I mean, is it dead? I don't know. Like,
It's undefinable.
Yeah.
it's undefinable. It will reemerge. You can't
Probably.
say it's dead. It has to. Everything.
Yeah.
You can't.
Right.
But the
What is dead
infrastructure.
can never die.
The infrastructure you need for a streetwear brand.
Sure.
Yeah, a lot more. I think.
I agree.
Okay.
Same reason.
Absolutely. Do you guys have a dream guest you want to get on the pod one day?
Well, we're talking to Ronnie Fike. I'd love to get him
Ooh,
on. Yeah,
shout out
'cause I
Ronnie.
think because Ronnie embodies like where they would have gone. I think.
Yeah.
You know, so we're talking to him. I think he's gonna come.
Ever
on.
since I was a child, I
Yeah.
would tune in to HBO and watch How to Make America. That's going to be the IG caption.
Yeah, when it happens.
Ever since I was a kid in Queens in '95.
He's gonna do what we've been trading. You know, like
Yeah,
it's hard. You know, we're all opposite.
You got to
coasts,
do a
but-
collaboration with him. That's
Yeah,
that's
that'd
what
be
it
dope.
is.
Have you
That'd be
thought
great.
about where the characters would be now?
Yeah, I think it would be like that.
They'd be hosting a podcast, no?
No, like
yeah, the podcast.
Or they be at Ronnie's level?
I think. Well, maybe.
Because a lot of shows these days, like even if something is on, not that you guys were on this like downturn or whatever, but like a lot of like in almost like for fan service, they like give you that finale that everyone wants, right?
Yeah.
But you guys, it's just like we're done after 16 episodes. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you've thought about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really healthy, I think, to go down that road too much. You know, no, I just like it's like you have to be in this moment in life. You can't just be looking backwards. So I haven't given it too much thought, but I always thought that he would become like Kith or like who was Mark Echo, who was a big
Our old
inspiration.
boss.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Complex.
Yeah, I thought maybe they would transition into media. Maybe that
Oh,
could have
yeah.
been cool too. You know. I don't know.
I feel like there would have been a little bit of conflict with Ben and Cam in the sense that like you kind of see it a little bit in the 16 episodes. Like sometimes it was really subtle, but like sometimes Cam would want like, yo, we should do a little bit more of this. And then I think he would have resisted on some level like of where the path of Chris would have went.
We got to do pea coats.
I think it would have been so much that we would have riffed and then like not talk and then like what would we? I think
Oh,
it would've gone in
interesting.
that.
Cam was really pushing the fedora line, and Ben just was like,
Shut up.
nah.
He wasn't pushing no fucking
He was pushing
fedora.
fedoras and Crocs, and Ben was like, I'm
And
out,
the
dude.
Crocs. Yo, the Crocs.
We got to get Lou Bega in a fedora.
You remember when the swim what are the boat shoes were a thing for a second?
Those are hot now.
This year.
Yeah,
This
boat
year.
shoes are back, bro.
But you know
I
what?
didn't even know that.
But
See,
you
that's
know
what I'm talking about.
You can't wear them. You can't wear the Sperry's with the Nike dry fits.
Yeah,
that's
that's-
the fucking.
yeah.
That's
You
the
can't
cardinal
do that.
sin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Cardinal sin.
But it's kind of like.
I didn't know that.
But
see,
it seems like there's a lot of like lore and like because obviously you guys embody these characters like where I could see again. I know everyone's saying reboot, and you got your new thing, but it's almost like what happens if these guys broke off and then came back together?
That's
kind of
what
dude.
I
there's
think
something
that's
there.
it. Well, my pitch was that maybe they had a fight, whatever, about the
Falling
fedoras.
out. Yeah, right.
And they haven't talked for years. But then like these new upstarts come around and they want to do a collab with Crisp, which is a dead brand.
Wow.
You know, and I was like, oh, and that kind of like resurrects them, forces Ben and Cam to come back together.
I hope some
Yo,
fucking
honestly,
execs
yeah.
are listening. That's good, dude.
But there could be.
Good pitch, right?
Yeah.
I thought that would be.
I could
cool
see Ronnie
entryway.
being like, "Yo, let's Kith like in real life, not in the show. Like Kith collabing with Crisp.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Bring it back.
He's collaborating with everything that already exists. He has to start collaborating with made up entities.
Yeah.
Fake brands.
Yeah, fake.
Why
brands.
not?
Yeah.
Why not?
We just did the Olympics.
Yo, Kith would be crazy.
Wait, what?
The Kith just did the
Oh,
Olympics.
Kith did
yeah.
the Olympics.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, what? You guys did the
killing it.
Olympics?
Yeah, he just did all the Olympic jerseys.
Oh, snap.
Right? Am I
He's
right?
kind of like, I mean, in some ways, like Ralph esque.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is
I think
of
he's trying
that
to.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mini Ralph.
Mini Ralph.
Yeah.
Yo, you guys fans of the Knicks?
Jewish Ralph. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
no, that already is
Okay.
Ralph.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. No, we're just excited about this season.
Okay.
you just want to talk about the Knicks?
No, well,
Are you feeling good? You feeling
I just
bullish?
feel like-
We're feeling bullish, boys?
He's feeling very bullish.
and that's why I'm kind
It
of like
scares me how
hesitating,
bullish he's
because
feeling.
I know like I might get crucified again.
Again?
But that seems to be the theme of today. So let's just get crucified.
Yeah.
So I think, right? So first of all, I called Jalen Brunson. Like between our friends, I was like, this dude is a stud. Before he got signed, he got that big contract, which by the way is a discount.
I'll give him that. I'll
Yeah.
give him that.
I was like, yo, this dude is a stud. I saw what he did with Dallas during the playoffs the year before. So
I didn't see it at the time.
I saw it right away. I was like, bro, we got to steal, right? So and
I
that
was wrong.
And at the time, that's what everybody talked about.
Oh, yeah.
Is that we needed a point guard. Done. We got that, right? Now we got Mikal Bridges.
Mhm.
We signed OG, right? I know people are like, yo, somebody needs to back up Mitchell. I think we're going to get that. We don't need that right away. But dude, if Julius Randle, which I know a lot of New Yorkers are not fans of Julius Randle. I know.
It's iffy, right?
I know. But
There's good days and bad days.
I think
Yeah.
he knows his role now, man. I think
Think?
now, yo, if he just does what he does best.
He's not going to Brian McKnight it?
No, that's somebody else who I'm not going to say.
Oh.
Who was an ex-Knick. But I
Okay.
think if you're a real Knick fan, you know who I'm talking about. So But if you could just spread the floor, let Jalen do what he does, and now you got Mikhail, you got OG.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm calling it right now. I think we could beat Boston.
I think if Randall, it's all about him finding his role.
I think Boston.
He dropped the mic.
I think Boston.
The new GM of the Knicks, ladies and gentlemen.
Boston is a great team. No hate, because I know we got a lot of fans who are from Boston. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I think that Boston compared to this Knicks team is a little bit softer.
Ooh. Oh, thank you, boys. That's a double.
I don't know if we're gonna
mic
take the chip this year. I don't know if we're gonna take the chip this year because I don't know who's gonna come out the West. You can't sleep on the West.
Right.
But I think we're gonna
in
take
terms
Boston.
of grit, you guys aren't wrong.
So what do you think? Conference
Boston's
finals?
Who?
You think we'll make it to the conference finals?
I think
we
if
will
we're
pass the
healthy,
conference.
To the finals.
The
We'll take
finals.
the
I just
conference.
don't know who we would meet up because I think there's a lot of studs.
Yeah, how do you match up with-
I think Denver, honestly, they
Had a
didn't
bad
have
year?
a good bad year. But I'm not sleeping on Denver. That's who I'm afraid
Okay.
of.
All right.
So-
I like that. Well, again, we're feeling bullish.
We
on
might
this
get
podcast.
crucified.
Get
I
fucking
might get
Ronnie,
crucified,
the
honestly.
creative director of the New York Knicks,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yo.
Wait, is that
fucking-
true? Is he?
Yeah,
I
he
think
is.
so.
Yeah.
Damn.
Or the creative director of MSG or something. I don't know.
Fuck, dude. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
I think
fucking
it's the
figure
Knicks.
out
I
the
think
New
you're
York
right. I
Rangers,
think it
bro.
is.
Get him to do what?
Get you guys courtside.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, but we've always had love when we try to go courtside.
I actually sat next to him once at
Oh,
a
there
game.
you go.
Yeah, that's how I met him.
Shout out right there, baby.
Who's been your worst guest on the podcast? Let's get negative.
We haven't had enough to have a bad.
Yeah, I don't think
one
like I don't
yet.
think we have the history
Like we
yet. to
still
have
don't
it.
know what we're doing.
right.
What about
Yeah.
you guys?
No.
Yeah,
Is
what's
it
the
us?
worst?
Ever?
Is it us?
No,
no.
Is it us?
Neve Schulman
Neve
from
Schulman?
Catfish.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, he just was what?
He's a
Wait,
piece
what
of
was-
shit.
Oh, just not a good guy.
Well, he did our old show, so
yeah.
we've
Yeah.
only had hitters on Throwing Fits, but there's
Yeah.
a previous podcast endeavor that shall not. Actually, that's not true either. There's
We
been
had
some
one.
stuff.
We had one
We
that
can't
was so
say.
bad
You had
that
to scrap it?
we were like,
Yeah.
we were like,
Scrap podcast.
well, we were like, how do we fucking spike this? And then
We didn't know
luckily,
it
An episode, you mean you had to scrap? An
Yeah.
episode, not a, okay. I thought you were talking about like a whole nother podcast you had.
no,
Like a whole
and then
nother-
and then the
okay.
guest was like, yo, don't release that. And we're like, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, you're welcome
Yes.
because you
And
come
that was
off
him.
bad.
No, that's someone else.
No,
That's someone
no,
else.
no.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
But
That's
Neve
crazy.
Schulman is a piece of shit. I'll say that.
That's it. Right to the camera. Yeah.
Yeah.
Neve Schulman.
Listen, I said
If you and Brian McKnight are listening,
I was gonna say Brian McKnight may or may not see this, or his friend might see, or his manager. But I'm
No.
I had such a bad time, but I was
people
giving
can
him his
change.
flowers.
This
He
was a
a
long
good
time
player.
ago. People can change. I can't
Yeah.
change, but other people might be.
Yeah.
able to.
Yeah.
You know? Okay.
Have you guys figured out the podcast monetization yet?
No.
And can you
No,
Can
we
you
were
teach us?
actually,
Can you
we're
teach
gonna
us
ask
your
you guys
ways?
about that.
No, my next question
Yeah.
is, can you share those secrets?
No, we have
no.
nothing to share yet. We just started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
We
many
gotta
weeks has
ask
it been?
you
How many
guys
weeks has
how
it been?
Like 12 weeks, maybe? I don't even know.
babies.
Yeah, we're like, a month and a half into this. We honestly
No.
don't know.
We longer
2
than
months?
a month and a half.
2 months?
I think we're approaching 3. Yeah.
You think you're gonna do? What do you see in the future? Like
Time is a flat
live
circle.
shows?
Yeah.
Gonna do fucking touring
Tour?
So we want to do like
Eventually, yeah. that could be
before
fun.
you get locked
Yeah.
up with Suits LA, which again,
Yeah.
congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
It's huge.
Wait,
Wait, what are
yeah,
the
we
suits?
should do-
What are the suits gonna be?
The suits are dope.
Okay.
Are they
Yeah, suits
custom?
are
Are
dope.
you guys getting custom?
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. You get
Yeah.
to keep that shit?
No, they never.
The thing is with,
But if it's
As
custom
an-
for Brian,
you know, it's kind of funny though.
The
Like
studios keep it.
you, sometimes as an actor, you get to keep your wardrobe, but if it's so high profile, you don't want to be wearing it out because they're like, oh,
But if
you're
it's a
just
good
wearing that
suit-
shit again.
but if it's a good suit, everyone
Yeah,
needs
but
a
like
good suit.
once you're photographed, it's like
Okay.
it's hard, man.
It's like actor problem.
It's like Fat
bro.
Joe popping tags and you fucking throw out the Air Force Ones.
Yeah. You
No,
can't
but
lick.
it sucks, but like
can't
if
lick
you're
the shoe,
photograph
toss it.
something, you can't like unless well suits you can kind of rework a
what
couple
I'm
different
saying.
times. You can get a couple
Swap out
different
the tie,
cycles.
swap out the shirt.
Yeah.
So you spent some time at the tailors recently, is what you're
Yes,
saying.
yes,
Okay. I
yes,
like
yes,
that.
yes.
Hell yeah.
But okay, for the podcast, what are we thinking, boys? Tour, fucking merch,
Eventually,
obviously,
yeah.
but like
yeah, merch for sure.
I think,
Yeah, we definitely want to do the merch.
Yeah, the merch is for it's happening.
I would
The
love
merch
to
is
do
happening.
a live show like 1 or 2 times a year. Have you guys done them?
we're not fans.
I don't like it.
because you have to do a lot of them and like really tour to like
Uh-huh.
for it to make financial sense.
Yeah.
Like to
We
make
did it-
any money.
We did it.
I know
We've
how
done
that
it
goes, yeah.
with brands like in stores, and then we've done it. I think we did it once or twice. We just like donated the ticket
Yeah.
proceeds.
Right. But you guys are killing it on the merch though, right?
We're great
guys.
guys.
We're good
We're
guys.
great guys.
Yeah. I got
That's
that
the
when I
biggest
first.
thing to take away.
I got
from
that when we first met. Anyway, yo, so you do it and you did it in store before a live.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, like the store, like a store was opening, and they're like, "Hey, can you do a live show with
that's
like
dope.
whoever?"
I
And then
want
so it brings people into the store,
Boom.
and then they get a little fucking drinky, and then they
Asses in
sip,
seats.
and then they shop.
Interesting.
Shopping, drinks,
Interesting.
little bites. Yeah. It's
Okay.
like a
Well,
whole 360
We're so new at this
experience.
game. Coming from the acting world, like we do all this press ready for the launch of the premiere of something,
Right.
right? And so like that's your shot. That's when like you're
That's when
getting
you
the
make all
most
the
eyes
money.
on. Yeah. But this is like this is an ongoing slow.
never
Like the long
Never
game.
ends.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
long
yeah.
game.
And so,
Oh yeah. By the way, welcome to hell.
yeah, thanks.
Lock in.
we're not really, honestly. I mean, the money thing, whatever. I mean, we're having fun, man.
Right.
It's honestly, we're not doing it for that. I mean, it's like we're really doing it for the fans. It's just like and to get away from our families and to like hang out. I mean, it's great. Honestly, like whatever happens with it, happens with it. We're not like we don't have
No
that many-
expectations.
I really don't have goals for the podcast.
That's probably the best way to approach it.
It is.
That's not like we
Absolutely
started too.
best
We're
way
like,
to-
who gives a
I
shit?
don't, and
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, I think
You got to pretend that no one's listening. And in our case,
I don't think anybody is.
Dance like
Yeah.
no one's watching. Podcast like nobody's listening.
No, the fans have been really responsive.
You've
to
seen
it,
the
so
wall
I
art?
think it's cool.
What, have you had any? What's been like your craziest fan experience? Did someone come up and be like, "Oh my
I
god"?
feel like you had probably the
don't know.
craziest.
Everybody's. You know what the thing is? If you just treat people like people, then it takes the crazy away.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You
If you act like you're like, oh, don't talk to me, then they get more excited. You know?
That's
But
how
if
you
you're
get
just
John Lennon's, bro.
Yeah.
What's up?
John Lennon.
Yeah, I'm not trying to
All right,
do
so,
that.
so I
you
should
know?
stop stiff arming fans when I see them in the streets.
Yeah, because then you become like,
Heisman.
unattainable, and then they want to attain that. But if you're just like, yo, I'm Bryan, what's up?
Yo,
Nice to
you
meet
guys are kind of lucky the show because I know you're very happily married or in partnerships now and have
Yes,
families.
very
But
happy.
imagine
Very-
fucking if Instagram was around when your show was popping,
That would've been a problem.
DMs would have been
Yeah.
Fallujah.
spicy.
Yeah.
Pedal,
Fallujah!
pedal spicy DMs.
Ghetto spicy.
Yeah. Congrats that you guys missed that.
Thank
That's
you.
very
No.
good for
we,
you.
we had fun.
You would have had Tata Monstas in the DMs.
Yeah, I missed that whole. Yeah, I missed the whole DM
You
movement.
talking about Instagram, but like now there's all these other dating apps. Can you imagine if all that was happening when we were on
He's
our
single.
show?
I'm married. So
Oh,
I
you're
don't
single?
know.
Saying, like
I don't know.
What is
What's it like in the streets,
Raya?
man?
Talking about Raya?
All of them. Imagine if that it was going on when we were shooting the show. That would,
I don't think you would have needed it. Is the point, right?
I mean,
A lot of people are on those. I bet there's people on shows on Ryan. No,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
yeah.
Raya was all about celebs being on
yeah.
there. Like,
But I'm saying, like,
could
you guys-
match with Chloe Grace
guys-
Moretz or
You guys,
some shit.
what the fuck? You guys kind of like, that's very
Swipe
young,
left,
Lawrence.
swipe
Are you
right.
on the apps? Is that how you're out?
Not anymore.
meeting people?
Not anymore.
Okay,
it's we're doing it in real life now, fellas.
You're post app.
We're post app.
Okay.
But I have to imagine that like the fans were mostly just like young hypebeast dudes.
A lot of dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of dudes.
So you couldn't open
For
up
this
the,
show, yeah.
Yeah. So pre-social media,
Yeah.
it was just whoever's watching the show. That's your fans.
Right.
With social media, you could have had the ladies.
Well, yeah, it's funny. The ladies were One Tree Hill. Like I get a lot of love
oh,
from that.
sure.
Yeah, I get a lot, and I'm sure you get 50 Shades
I
for
get the
that,
50
right?
Shades, yeah. And then I think the craziest is
I've done a fair share of rom coms.
Yeah.
And then you do, yeah.
Do
No,
girls
the crazy
do girls
thing-
that know you from 50 Shades expect you to get like super freaky?
You know,
With crystals?
You actually with the crystals in the butt. No, the craziest thing about it is that sometimes is when I get approached, I'm like, "You're watching that movie?" It's like you're like, "Yo, why are you watching that movie?" It's the type of women that come up to me, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm
Freaks?
in that movie." Like,
Freaks.
well, low key freaks because you're like,
I don't know
"Yo."
about
Watch that
low-key.
movie to get off.
Yeah, and then now it's like there's a resurgence, just like Suits. Like it's on Netflix.
I
again.
know. I saw it the other day.
And I was like,
the whole trilogy's out.
Duh, and then, like,
Residuals.
yeah, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm like. Okay,
Stream that shit.
yeah, but I'm
The
like,
freak's
dude,
about to come out.
So for like, if physical ones, when I first got cast, it was like a craze, obviously,
Yeah.
and then it like fizzled in the last few years, like which is cool, it fizzled. Now it's back up again.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's crazy.
And now the DMs are open. We're on it. I don't know. I don't know what your situation is, but maybe they are. Maybe they're
Delete, I
not.
gotta delete.
Yeah,
delete,
yeah,
delete,
yeah.
Wait, here's a
delete.
question because we're talking about like these other iconic roles that you guys had besides
Yeah.
How to Make It. What's the one role that like got away that you maybe auditioned for or that your name was in the mix, you heard, but was like something that became
You want me to go first?
iconic?
Okay. I don't really talk about this as often. I think I might have mentioned it once, but the
Go off.
one role that got away, and I was young, and I think a lot of it was because I was shooting something in a foreign Caribbean island, and I got a call that Paul Haggis was very interested in me for the role of Crash, which won an Oscar.
Yeah, Best Picture.
It was the Michael Pena role.
Oh,
I
shit.
was considered for that first,
Damn.
and I was super
were a good
young. I was super naive, and I regret it because if I had listened to my manager, I got on a plane to meet Haggis.
Mm.
That role would have been mine. It was pretty much mine.
Damn.
It was mine to lose.
Yeah.
but
People do say that's the worst Best Picture winner ever, though. So
Yeah.
I don't know
yeah,
if you really
I mean,
missed
but
that
like
much.
then when you watch Pena's career, you're like
True.
Yeah.
True.
Obama. No, but that was for me. That was the
Damn,
one.
okay, that's
bro.
crazy.
That was the one.
Okay.
Yeah. It was yours to lose and you lost it.
Yeah,
Well, that's the
I
question.
lost
That's
it.
the question.
Big
I
time.
don't usually talk about this kind of stuff either, but I like you guys.
Is this like bad? Is this like
Yeah, should I-
bad
is this
stuff
bad
to ask
form?
an actor? Like
you know what it is? I don't want to be disrespectful to the people who got the role.
Yeah,
But they
let me
got
take
the
that back.
role,
I'm not
Bryan.
disrespectful.
So I guess I'm the one who got disrespected.
bro.
All right, so fuck them. No.
That's hilarious.
No, you know what it is? I was offered the role in A Devil Wears Prada.
Oh,
Yeah. And
the Entourage guy.
Yeah.
Adrian Grenier.
Yes.
Grenier,
He ended up
whatever the
doing it.
fuck.
But I chose to
That tree
do
hugger?
an indie movie with Alan Rickman, who the late great Alan Rickman.
Legend.
Yeah.
And
You
it
fucking
was
artist.
Yeah. I was going indie. I was like, it was anti-studio,
Right,
but I
right,
didn't
right.
know that was. And I
As like the shitty, annoying boyfriend that everyone hates now.
right.
Right.
But that is
Not
a
supportive.
classic film, and that I wasn't
Yeah.
a part of.
And
And they're
they are
bringing it back.
they are rebooting it.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
As a TV show? Or as a
Oh
movie?
no, just they're kind of like many years later.
Yeah, it's
Same,
it is.
same,
yeah.
same characters.
Yeah, it's a
So Anne
sequel.
Hathaway's coming back again, I'm
I
assuming.
think she's the one who's not coming back.
Is Meryl Streep coming back?
It's Meryl
Oh,
Streep
wow.
and
Emily Blunt.
Emily
Yes.
Blunt,
Oh, cool.
Oh,
who
nice.
now I think she runs like a powerful brand
Why
that is
isn't
like
Annie Hathaway coming back?
I don't know, but it's
'Cause
more
she's
it's more
Annie
Meryl,
Hathaway.
it's more
Yeah.
Meryl Streep being like trying to make the magazine survive by like, and she has to kind of kowtow.
Yeah.
Now it's like the big bad
Maybe Anne
advertiser.
Hathaway's doing an indie instead.
Oh, yeah.
But going back to Brian's point, like shout out Michael Pena, great actor. I'm happy he got it.
Sure.
But also think about it. Had I gotten that role, I probably would never done How to Make It in America.
True.
Yeah.
And I love
It's all
that
these
I did
sliding
that. Yeah,
doors
so it's-
moments. And
yeah.
had I done that, I wouldn't have got to work with Alan Rickman.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
who's
true.
like
Great.
a legend.
Alan Rickman.
Is
You
that
know?
is that
Great.
is that like mental poison to ask an actor like, what if your route had gone this way?
It's all that woulda, coulda been thing. There's a million of those things. Yeah. And you just can't beat yourself up. And like, it's just so not healthy to think about what could have been.
Woulda,
I think
coulda,
that's in
shoulda
general
made
for
it in
all
America.
people.
Right.
What's up?
Yeah.
Like, what would have happened if How to Make in America went?
What if you guys had
63?
made
It's
it
like,
in America?
Yeah. Well, we almost
Literally.
did.
We did it. We did an episode with Louis Guzman on our podcast
Yeah.
about that. And he's like, brother, you guys made it, brother. You guys made it. And I was like, thanks.
That's a good Luis Guzman,
Yeah.
bro.
Well,
Yeah, man.
got a lot
I'm
of
just grateful,
practice.
man. I'm just grateful for all the
course.
opportunities, and I don't really look back like that.
Right.
You know.
You
My
guys gotta
bad.
have
I had to
Louis-
ask,
You
dude.
guys
It's not
gotta have
healthy.
Louis on the pod, dude.
Would love
You guys
that.
would-
Yeah.
Fucking-
Set it
Are you
up.
kidding?
He
I love that.
Right now he's shooting Wednesday season 2 because you know
Okay.
he played
Yeah.
Adam Gomez.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, Adam Gomez, right? Is that it? Oh, Gomez Adams. Sorry, Gomez.
Adam,
Yeah,
the Adams family, not the Adams
Not
family.
the Gomez family.
Yeah, the Gomez.
Wilfredo Gomez.
Wilfredo Gomez, those fucking decks. He's in Dublin, but I'll definitely let him know when
Bro.
he's back. Yeah,
Absolutely.
He's,
A
Lower
living
East Side
legend.
King.
We'd be honored
he's a
to have him.
legit Lower East
He's a
Side
goat.
OG.
Yeah.
Like, and that's how we knew each other before How to Make It.
Oh, really?
Because
Yeah.
he was like a big brother to me, and we grew up in the same neighborhood.
Incredible.
Was he like already in entertainment, and you were like looked up to him as a guy that made it out the hood, or did you just know each other from
Both.
like being okay?
I say this on our podcast. The way how I met Louis Guzman is that I did a very Lower East Side indie movie called
Right.
Raising Victor Vargas.
Right.
Louis had already
Classic.
been Louis, right? Did Carlito's Way, and all his resume was it was already stupid at that point. But when I was acting, he was one of the guys that I looked up to, him and John Leguizamo. So when that movie came out, I was getting a lot of buzz on Raising Victor Vargas. And the word got out that like we were from the same neighborhood. And so somebody who we both knew gave Louis my number, and I was still living at home. This is before the cell phones, right? And called my mom's crib,
Oh,
and I
man.
picked up, and he goes, "Yo, is this Victor?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's Vic." "Oh, yo, yeah, this is Louis Guzman, man. I'm a big fan of yours, man." I'm like, "Yo, Louis, what's good?" He was like, "Yo, I want to meet you." We met at Adela's, which is on 4th Street and Avenue B, very famous Puerto Rican spot. Or Adela's.
It's so famous you don't know the name of it.
It's Adela's.
Yeah.
It's Adela's.
It's like the Topo Chico.
It's the Topo Chico
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
But she's passed away since. That's kind of why, too, the owner of the restaurant.
But it's still there.
It's still there. Yeah,
It's like
very
all
much.
yellow.
Correct.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
small. You can only fit
Yeah.
like 2 people in there.
On
And
Avenue
Louis.
C?
Avenue C, not Avenue B. I'm sorry. Avenue
Yeah,
C.
I remember that spot.
4th Street, Avenue
Yeah.
C.
Yeah.
And
Avenue B is too
we met-
white.
Avenue D is toward the river,
No.
the project.
Avenue B. That's D. B is white. C is kind of like
Yeah,
Z's in
D you
between.
don't want to go to. That's
Yeah.
that's my hood.
Yeah.
right.
So
Couple shades of gray in there.
yeah. So we met there, and then anyway, we became friends over the years. And then when How to Make It came, I'm not taking the full credit, but I
Right.
definitely made a call and was like, "Yo," and then Mark, like Brian was saying,
Right,
Mark
right.
Wahlberg kind of sealed
Brought
the
it
deal.
across the finish line.
Right,
Okay.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So you're taking the credit.
I mean, I don't want to take,
Okay.
I don't want to take
Yeah.
the credit, but I'm just happy he was.
Yo,
on
facts
it.
are
Right.
facts. I'm not
I don't
taking the
care,
credit.
bro.
It's
I'm just happy that he was in it because
yeah,
obviously
he's incredible.
And we're happy you guys fucking, took the paths you took to make the show and put a legendary stamp in, the lives of like guys of our generation as a dynamic duo. that is legendary from the years back, from the work you're doing now, from the work you're doing together now with We Almost Made It. We would love, just as a last question.
Yeah.
Last outro. You sit here. I know you listen to the pod. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You've now experienced it for a good hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
That was it?
With your experience,
I feel like it was shorter.
do you have any constructive criticism you'd like to give us?
Oh,
Yeah.
Because we're just trying to learn.
honestly,
We're just trying to make it in America.
Yo,
bro.
this is the teachers asking the students here.
No.
Man. Like we're
It
in your
really
world
is.
now.
Come
We're in your world. You guys
Okay.
are like,
All right.
you know,
No.
you guys are verified. We're just newbies.
oh, I do actually.
Oh, he's got some.
Well, I got a question.
He's got a few notes.
Wait, okay. Yeah. Hit us with the notes.
So my question to you guys is that, so I see you know, you guys have your laptops out,
Yeah.
which I think that's how I roll. I like to be like super prepared. I like to be like, at least just to keep the conversation going. You know,
Yeah.
you don't have to go, you
no
can go
dead
off
air.
script.
No
I'm
cuts.
you know, cool
no
with that.
edits.
I think a little bit of that for me now that we're doing the podcast is that it's a level of I don't know what I'm doing. So I want to make sure that we have some sort of like roadmap as we go.
Sure.
Brian's great. He like can
I wing it.
go off.
I don't know what I'm
but
doing.
also like you listen to our podcast, it flows
Mhm.
with our
Right.
chemistry. So
Yeah.
it's not like it's not a level of like he's prepared, I'm more prepared. It's just two different
No.
processes.
Yeah.
My question for you, you guys have been doing it for so long. Do you still feel like it's super helpful still to like kind of like go and use that?
Have
as
a roadmap?
guide? Yeah. Because I don't know if I need to use it anymore, I guess is my question.
I think that our process is we'll like dump a bunch of questions. We like, oh, these guys are coming on. Here's everything we want to know, and it's just like no rhyme or reason, no logic. But that doesn't necessarily translate into like a linear, listenable arc.
Right.
So then we'll kind of reorder them where it's like the conversation we just had. We already had that conversation 3 days ago on the piece of paper. No, I'm kidding. But we'll like it's. Topic wise, it kind of is like grouped, and then it's like, all right, well, after we talk about this, it kind of makes sense to talk about this.
All right.
Yeah,
So you do
yeah.
have
Yeah.
I
So
think it's
I
always
think a
helpful.
roadmap is the right way to talk about it. I think like if you look at the final paper, there's stuff that's X'd out. There's
Yep.
stuff that has
Ask
been
one of those
moved.
that's X'd out. What's
Well, it's stuff like we kind of already asked. Like,
Yeah.
that
Or it
kinda
made its
came up
way
naturally.
because it was just natural in an earlier part.
Got
So
it.
it's both of you guys that like are both. So I guess you guys don't do. Not that I'm comparing, but like you guys don't do what we do.
He's looking at porno over there. Yeah.
Hey, yo. Chill.
He's looking at Chloe Grace Moretz on Reddit. You know what the fuck
That
you
was
said earlier?
because I know someone who matched with her on Raya. That's why I brought her up. Okay. That wasn't like,
That's hilarious.
if I could have picked anyone, I would have gone fucking Annie Hathaway. No, I don't know.
Yo, that's
Anyway,
my most famous match on Raya was Krayshawn. So kind of the How to Make It America era.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gucci,
shit.
Gucci, Louis, Fendi, Prada.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. All right, so
But yeah, so that's kind of our process.
a roadmap.
But then again, it's like we don't want to just be like question, answer.
No.
It's a conversation.
Yeah.
no. But I saw how y'all were rolling. It never felt like question. It
Right.
was just like
Question, answer.
Because you also have to have a little bit memorized. Not like you have to, but you have to. You know, it's like you have it in front of you. It's kind of like actors, right? It's like sometimes we go into an audition, we have the paper there. We kind of glance at it if we forgot a line,
Sure.
but we never be like, It's like
You'd be a very bad actor if you did
I'm
that.
like, I'm watching you.
And that's how to make it in America.
I believe that's not acting, that's reading. And that's a different skill set.
But you guys didn't make it feel like
No, thank you. That's
One thing
great to hear.
when it comes to guests, it's like the only people we want to have on are the people that we actually are interested in like learning from and speaking to.
I see.
So it's
Yeah.
like the questions that we have on paper, we always had up here, or they started forming here as soon as we like started talking.
We're fans. We watch the show. The shit that we want to know. Like
Yeah.
this just helps keep some structure, like
Yeah.
James is saying.
But
We're
this is honest.
honored to be here,
And
man. This is great.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
But the
thank you.
dynamic too, because it's like a little. Speaking of sports, to use this reference of like, you know, when you think about sports commentators, you got a play-by-play guy, you got a color commentary, and that's like an element too that I think that specifically for a duo, that kind of like naturally forms over time as you put more reps.
Your
up in
color
the stew.
commentary?
Yeah.
Lawrence just wants to call himself the color guy. That's all.
That's all he wants. All right.
All white Jews want to do that.
What would you guys like to plug?
Yeah.
Where can the kids follow you on Instagram.
Talk about the podcast.
Go on.
Yeah.
Where can we listen to the pod?
You could wherever you listen to pods, Apple, Spotify.
Wherever podcasts are sold.
It's got its own IG account.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got at We Almost Made It podcast, at Bryan Greenberg Instagram.
at Victor Rasuk.
Yep.
And yeah, listen, we also like any questions that fans may have, like ask us on
Slide in the DMs.
Yeah.
Do you do like a Q&A section of the podcast?
Yeah. We're starting to like go through them, and if fans have questions, we take notes and we'll answer them.
That
on the
fan
pod.
service
Yeah.
shit is powerful.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. We've
Yeah.
seen our end like as well. Like that's what that the term is parasocial relationship. And
Okay.
if you can give the people a little
Yeah.
taste of greatness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also the behind the scenes shit,
Yeah.
you know, now 15 years later in hindsight, or 13 years later, with hindsight being 2020, like people
Yeah.
want to know the stories that went into all the little fucking moments. Like,
Yeah.
here's a question. I noticed that when the Cam character is in the projects in his apartment, it's these fucking towers right here, right? These projects are like Seward Park. Yeah.
Let me think. Hold on.
You're on the East River.
Oh, you talking about that apartment?
Yeah.
No,
Your
'cause-
abuelas.
no, not Abuelas.
Oh.
Because remember later when he's pushing down the Viking Stone, he's got his own apartment. You're talking about that one? Because later, remember, he has his own place. And then it does face the East River.
Yes.
Yes, it's I think it's the Vladik projects right here, or Matt. Wait, where am I?
Oh, season 2 when you were with Lulu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where I know.
Is it on like Stanton Street?
Yeah, it's on Stanton, and it was close by, but yeah,
Okay.
you had a view of the East River, and it was one of the high floors too.
Yes.
Yeah. And but a lot of it wasn't just that location. We tried to shoot as much as we could in Lower
I got
East
robbed in
Side.
those projects once. That's it.
You what?
I got robbed in those projects once. That's it.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro.
It wasn't you.
Well,
What'd they get?
I
What'd
was
they
I
get?
was out there
they
like
got my-
young, running in the streets
They got
like
my
that,
flip
bro.
phone and they got my cash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
shit.
but no.
So fans can ask about real estate. They can hit you up and
Yeah.
Yo, how's
I
the
know
view
Brian
up
has
there?
experience, you know?
Damn, dude.
No.
I feel bad.
Victor, Brian, we want to thank you guys for coming on to
Yeah.
the only podcast that matters.
Yes.
Give We Almost Made It a listen.
Please.
Go stream or How to Make It America.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fucking stream watch all their other projects. Chef, take us out.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you.